the GDQ Hotfix show where we attempt to capture 100% of the joy of speedrunning in 0% of the completed video games. My name is Quacksilver, and welcome to the official start of the Hotfix summer season. It's a beach party. You're invited. I'm so excited to be kicking things off with an out-of-season monster mash. Tonight on Make Your Own Victory, we have 3 monster-themed runs for your perusal and enjoyment. We will be starting things off with some Breath of the Wild, all Kilton medals, some scary monsters. We will be moving on into Vex Troll Tag, some silly monsters, and concluding our evening tonight, we have the most noble monster of them all, Duck Percent in Undertale. Of course, all of these monsters pale in comparison to the absolutely monstrous SGDQ 2026 schedule. Summer Games Done Quick 2026 is going to be coming at you live from Minneapolis, Minnesota in under a month, July 5th through the 11th. You can check out that monster of a schedule at gdq.gg/schedule, and you can also just go to gdq.gg to learn more and register for the event. I think that's all I have to say about monsters, so before I get semantically satiated, it is an honor and a pleasure to join the ranks of the Hyrule Air Force with none other than the great JM running Breath of the Wild, all Kilton medals. JM, over to you.
Hello, I'm JM. I'm come from Spain. I've been running this game for over 5 years now. And yeah, today I will be showcasing all Kilton medals. And Future, do you want to present yourself too?
Hi, I'm Future Lender. I've also been running this game for around 5 years, and I have a lot of experience, so I hope to explain this speedrun as best as I can.
Alright, so we can just go ahead and start our new game. It's not actually starting the timer now. We will be starting the timer when we gain control of Link. So, Future, would you mind explaining what all Kilton medals is?
I'd love to. So, there's this character in the game named Kilton, and he's pretty obsessed with monsters. And weirdly enough, he actually rewards you for killing them, even though he loves them so much. And so when you kill all of the overworld bosses, these include Hinoxes, Stalinoxes, Talus, and Moldugas, you kill all of them, he will give you medals for each of them, 3 in total. And so JM will be trying to kill all these bosses as quickly as possible. I'm not sure if we want to say the exact number or if there's going to be a prediction, but...
Yeah, maybe we keep it as it is right now.
Yeah, and we can save that for later.
Yeah. So be prepared because we're starting the time soon in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck, JM.
Thank you.
So yeah, he just started off by running straight to the Sheikah Slate. This will be one of the items we have for the run, and it will be necessary in a moment actually, because he's going to do a glitch, funnily enough, even though the timer just started. It's been less than a minute on the actual timer. He's instantly going to do something. So yes, just after this cutscene, he will do something called a scope clip. And so he's going to run into the corner. Give him a second there. And so what's going to happen is he's going to get a specific angle with Link in the camera, and he's going to mash the scope button. And if he does it just right, the scope will make Link kind of do a 180 really quickly, and it'll push him out of bounds. And now he's also doing a new, not a new strat, but another strat here called whistle sprinting. So when his stamina gets low, he starts whistling and mashing B, which lets you sprint even when you're low on stamina. And it's just barely slower than normal sprinting, so he'll alternate that. And also now, he's actually watching the intro cutscene. Normally, you can just skip this entirely because it's, faster, but we actually need to watch it for this category because this cutscene is actually what starts the time of day cycle, and it makes weather start. Otherwise, it'll just always be 5:15 a.m. The time will not change. And we need time of day in order for Stalnox to spawn, because they only show up at nighttime. And sleeping in a campfire
Kilton,
without time of day does nothing.
exactly. Also, Kilton will only spawn during the night, so we need to activate this time of day, and the only way of doing so is watching this cutscene. So right now I'm getting some food and some weapons that will be useful later in a glitch called IST that will be explaining later. So
yeah, let's leave that for later. That's a lot to explain.
Exactly.
Also, while I was talking, we kind of brushed past this, but JM was out of bounds still. Like, the time of day, the intro cutscene, that does not bring you back in bounds. He was actually doing a couple side hops that actually clip link back in bounds, but the camera didn't quite show it because it was still messed up from the intro cutscene. But he was still out of bounds. That cutscene did not bring him back in. He had to clip in because Breath of the Wild has a two-way collision. Many like older video games have only one-way collision where you can just go through if you're out of bounds, but you actually have to clip back in this game. And now we actually have a bunch of glitches coming up right now. So he wants to go inside the Temple of Time right in front of us here. So he's going to shield surf down just to get there a bit quicker. And then he's actually going to do what's called a shield clip inside the Temple of Time. So you'll see he does a shield surf there. And then he's going to shield surf and unequip his shield. And he's in. Just as easy as that, right? And so he's going to do another glitch here. I'm going to explain that when we go to the next shrine because there's just too much going on right now. But the way the shield clip works is, as you can see, Link kind of did a little skew to the side there when he shield surfed. And so it snaps him back really quickly into place. And so he goes back and forth. And that clips him through the wall because he's going so quickly. And you'll see he's going to do that again. But first, that's called a fall damage cancel. Normally, he would have, died there. But by just throwing your weapon and then unequipping something like your shield, it just resets your fall damage and he doesn't need to worry about dying from height. So That's really useful when we do not have the paraglider, which I guess, should I get into that now or should I wait a little bit?
Yeah, probably can talk about it later. So right now we'll be doing a wind bomb, which will be the main moving trick that we will be using. So if you want to explain a little bit how that works.
Yeah, sure. So wind bombs are really cool. You place 2 bombs, go into bullet time, and then detonate the first one, and look what's gonna happen. Just after this quick cutscene. Oh wait, we're going for gamer wind bomb. Wait, no, this is actually a really cool one. I'm gonna be quiet for a second. Oh, he gets it. That's a really hard strat. That's actually really impressive. I was talking to Jam yesterday. He told me he wasn't gonna go for it because it's too risky, but that's really impressive.
I had to go for it.
Yeah, if he messed that up, he would have had to either eat food or die, and food routing is pretty tight for this run, so that would have been bad. But that was really clean. I'm proud of him on that. So yeah, the wind bomb. So he placed the 2 bombs and went into bullet time. And so the way bullet time works is it slows down like the physics of the game, which, it helps the player because it lets you, shoot things with your bow when you're falling or whatever, when you're in the air. And like, because it would be just way too hard to hit things, you'd be like quick scoping like it's Call of Duty if it didn't have bullet time. So in order for Nintendo to make it easier for the player, they implemented bullet time. But it kind of had a bit of a downside because it normally slows down the game. But when you do a wind bomb, we kind of reverse it. When the bomb impacts into Link, it kind of makes him go much faster. And that's also abused for a couple other tricks, but I don't think there are any bullet time bounces in this round.
We will not be doing any bullet time bounces which are OG strat that we used to use a lot. But they've been replaced with the glitch that I'm going to be starting right now, which is called BLSS. With this glitch, what we do is basically smuggle any item, in this case our bomb, to Link, and then entering a state called bow leaf smuggle. After that, we're going to approach a ledge and keep pressing B. That what that will make so the bomb constantly is pushing Link, and basically lets us float and travel very, very fast through Hyrule. Yeah. So that's a glitch that was discovered in 2021 in September, and it has completely revolutionized how we speedrun Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and it
I
actually...
can't believe it's been that long since BLSS. In my mind, it's still brand new.
Time passes
it is still kind of new. I don't know. In my mind, it's still new because the route that JM is running, or specifically the Great Plateau route, I'm pretty sure it's still called the new Great Plateau route, because for the longest time, we went to the Stasis Shrine first, but now we go to the Balm Shrine first. And so this was always called New Plateau, but at this point, it's been almost 5 years, so I'm not quite sure if it could still be called new.
This route we're following right now was actually pioneered by Future and I. Other runners also tried it out, but we were the ones to pioneer it, so we can brag about this.
I just started running like a plateau route with BLSS because I was sick and tired of losing all my runs to bullet time bounces, the glitch I mentioned earlier, because those are a bit annoying because you have to deal with enemies.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess now I can explain why we're actually doing these shrines, because the whole purpose of the run is just kill all the bosses. And while, you know, there's one singular talus on the Great Plateau, we're not actually going to kill it yet. So the reason why we have to do the Great Plateau is because the game will not let you leave it. You need to get all 4 shrines completed, get all the runes, and then you need to go to the Temple of Time and get the paraglider, because the paraglider sets the flag that lets you get off the Great Plateau. Otherwise, you will just void out. There's 2 different void out planes. There's like the normal one where you just fall down into it, and it will void you out, put you back where you last were, which I guess I'm foreshadowing what you're going to see later in the run with void outs. And then there's the second void out plane, which is just the entire rest of Hyrule. So like the first one is just right below Great Plateau. The second one is just anywhere outside of the Great Plateau in Hyrule. If you go there, it will instantly void you out, but it won't put you back to where you last were. It'll put you right outside the Shrine of Resurrection. Right now, JM is doing the tree wind bomb.
Yes.
Gets it?
Probably
Nice.
the most infamous trick on the early days of this route. It used to be a pretty inconsistent trick, but now we've come to a realization that if you stick to a setup, the wind bomb is almost 99% consistent. And right there, we just we made a skew clip into the shrine using the skew that we got earlier in Magnesis. So yeah, that skew that you get from shield jumping on a ledge can be stored for many other skew clips.
Yeah, so the skew actually stays as long as you don't complete another full shield surf. The only thing is your skew, it weakens slightly each time like you do a shield clip after that. Right now Jam's going for a really tricky wind bomb, and he gets it. That's really clean. It's really dangerous to do a wind bomb there.
Ragdoll cancel. Yeah.
Yeah, also, yeah, I didn't even realize, yeah, that's a ragdoll cancel. I did not prepare for that because that's so like inconsistent and rare. But if you just hit the collision at a weird angle, it's not like easy to replicate at all. I don't even think it's possible to. It might even be random. I feel like people have ran like task tools. But if you hit it at a weird collision, Link will just instantly cancel ragdoll state and snap back to normal, which lets you, activate the shrine a bit quicker. But it's just completely inconsistent.
That makes you gain control of Link. So right now, what are we doing, Future?
This is a stasis launch, or also called the boulder launch, since it's just a boulder. It's a really old strat, probably found on day 1 this game came out. But this is really its only use in like the current day. You just, use the stasis item or rune and then hit it a couple times in the air, and it'll send Link flying on it as long as you stay on top of it, which is not too bad. So now we're doing another BLSS, which is very clean. And now JM is actually going to do a different kind of shield clip called an extended shield clip, or ESC. So he's getting skew here, and this gives him a bit of a less steep skew. And that's necessary for this because he's basically going to do 2 shield clips. He's going to do it once, and then he's going to, on a specific frame, re-equip his shield and start shield surfing again.
Okay,
there you go.
That took a minute, but I finally...
It's okay. Yeah, no, that was still pretty clean. So he basically does one shield clip, and then when he gets like partially clipped into the wall, he does another one after, because that wall's a bit thicker, and it lets him get through thicker walls, yeah, like I said. And so there is like a normal shield clip you can do for that shrine, but it's a bit slower and also just a bit more finicky. It's kind of annoying to deal with. But
so most runners will do this extended shield clip, which, as Future said, is basically 2 shield clips in one, and that lets us be much faster and don't have to use a very slow setup.
Yeah, and now he'll just do another simple wind bomb. This one's nowhere near as difficult as the bombs and stasis one he did. It just brings you right up to the top, skipping the entire shrine. Although doing this shrine without bombs is actually really cool with Cryonis, but unfortunately, I'm pretty sure he's only going to use that rune like once in the entire run.
Yeah, probably if I land on the... Yeah, I think I only... No, I use it twice, yeah. We'll come back to that later. But yeah, it's pretty much the most useless, at least for speedrunning, yeah.
Yeah, like if we were hypothetically able to skip the Great Plateau, most categories would only need like the bomb rune in order to do most things, like wind bombs and BLSS. But like, there's just very rare cases where you need the other 3 runes. They're just not that useful in the current state of Breath of the Wild. So it would be cool, but there's like a 0% chance of that ever happening. And so that was the 4th shrine on the Great Plateau, 4th and final, well, not including DLC. And so now JM is going to the Temple of Time, where he will talk to the old man and get the paraglider, which, if you remember what I said earlier, that means he can get off the Great Plateau. Also, nice, clean fall damage cancel there. He would have also died without that. And so yeah, this is the end of the Great Plateau. So it's good. It's bittersweet because like JM has had almost flawless Great Plateau. It was really clean to watch, and there's just so many cool glitches you get to see. But you know, it's a double-handed sword. I forget the actual phrase, but it's bad because it's also hard, and it's a very reset heavy point. But he did it really quickly.
Thankfully, since we discovered BLSS, Great Plateau has been a much more consistent part of all rounds, because you don't depend on very precise setups as you had to with BTS.
Yes, exactly. Although if you do want to do BTBs, there are current patch games, or speedruns. So I guess we can get into that a little bit, because right now JM is doing a very long BLSS all the way over to Kakariko Village. So this really just shows how impressive this glitch is. You just go really quickly to anywhere on the map. Yeah, so ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, and you know, the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild released, Nintendo kind of made speedrunning for this game a bit annoying. So JM is running on version 1.6, which since like, I don't know, 2018 or 2019 has just been like the standard, because that was the current patch at the time. But now there is up to 1.9, if I'm not mistaken, which is the new current patch. And so when preparing for the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild, Nintendo actually patched BLSS. We're not really sure, or I guess I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but they did. And so now speedruns are kind of split between like BLSS and no BLSS. Also, what just happened there was a lag stop. Jam was going for a wind bomb and then trying to turn it into a super launch, which basically would let you have a much faster wind bomb. I'll explain it more when he does it again. But because Kakariko Village is so laggy, the lag actually forced him to stop his launch, because the game kind of treats lag and speed as very similar things. And because there's a speed cap, JM actually kind of hit the speed cap and the game lag stopped him. I guess that's another thing I should have mentioned, because on the Great Plateau, you're not doing very far BLSS because it's a fairly small area compared to the rest of the game. But because JM is now doing another BLSS, he went once from Great Plateau to Kakariko Village. Now he's going from Kakariko Village to Korok Forest. So these are very far distances. And so...
And some very important items here in Kakariko Village. We've gotten a long-range bow, which is the Phoenix bow. And we've also gotten important items for the glitch coming up right now.
Yes, so you got fairies, blue nightshade, and Duracarrots and wood. Those will all be useful, so keep those in your mental notebook.
Yeah, so right now we're entering the Korok Forest, and to not void out, we're just going to BLSS through the south part of the Korok Forest, and we shouldn't get voided out, just because we're touching so many collision boxes at the same time. The game doesn't have time to void us out, and we can make it through without going through the intended path. So right now we're getting a shield, and we're gonna be wasting our bomb arrows, sorry Koroks, for destroying your home. But this is the fastest way to to complete this category. So right now we're actually going to get the Master Sword. So Future, if you want to explain why.
Yeah, so I'll get back to lag stops and everything later. So right now he's doing the early Master Sword glitch, or to be more specific, just one of them, because there are many. So he places a campfire, puts the camera towards the sky, and then sleeps. And so right now he's just mashing A, and he can just pick up the Master Sword. It's actually that easy. You can try it yourself. The game just like temporarily unloads things after, or I guess it's more accurate to say it reloads the game. And so some things are unloaded, such as the Master Sword. And so you can just pick it up without needing 13 hearts. It's really cool. And so now he has the Master Sword, and now he's also getting a stamina vessel, which isn't necessary. It makes a certain glitch he's about to do quicker, I will say, but he doesn't actually need the stamina vessel. So now is probably the most complicated sequence of glitches in the entire run. So I'll try to explain it in the most simple way. So right now he's doing what's called creating offset, which leads up to a glitch called IST, or inventory slot transfer. So what he's doing is he's smuggling all these items. You can see he holds it, does a bunch of funky little things, and now they're stuck to his arm. And so now he drops them and instantly talks to the Korok. So he's dropping the items and selling them simultaneously. And so what this does is it removes them from your inventory twice instead of once. And so this creates what we call offset, which desyncs the visible inventory with the internal game data. And so this will let us transfer the game data of one item to another, which will be very, very useful. So yeah, he's going to be doing a lot of reloading and stuff, and it's going to make his inventory look weird.
Yeah, the goal of this glitch is to dupe a lot of important items, such as fairies, and we are also going to create an Omega Bow, which maybe we can explain later, because...
Yeah, don't worry, I have it all planned out.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, so as you can already see, he has 2 different slots with fairies and 2 different slots with the Endura carrots. So that's already showing there's some weird inventory shenanigans, because normally it would just put them all in one slot, but he has 2 different slots with them, right? So that's how you know there's something going on already. And so another glitch that you might have seen him do, or I guess it's kind of hard to even notice, but he was fumbling around in the inventory a lot. That did something called invalid star tab, which is letting him do what he's doing right now, which is dropping the paraglider in the Sheikah slate. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So basically, the invalid star tab lets you put the cursor in places where it shouldn't be, and it'll let you bring up text boxes that you normally can't. So for example, he brought up the materials text box for dropping an item on the key items tab, which normally you can't do. And so that let him drop the Sheikah slate and paraglider. Wait, is the stream glitching for anyone else, or is this all on my end? I'm sorry.
Maybe
It just froze for me.
my stream is.
Looks okay
Oh.
here. I have a question as well from chat. If you're looking for stuff to talk about, how in the world was this discovered? This is like a 95-step glitch.
Yeah, well, I don't even know how to explain it. It started from this one glitch. What's the name of it, Jam? It's the one in 100% for the dragon parts. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Surely it's
Can't remember.
one.
There was this one glitch that was
out.
found that we thought was just like a cool little way to just dupe a few items. So you're able to get you can dupe up to 10 or 20 diamonds. It was something like that. And then eventually people researched it more and realized you can do a lot more than duping. And so we're kind of transferring the game data of one item to another. So, for example, you already made the meal, right, Jam?
Yes. Right now I'm actually doing the last part of the WMC.
Yeah, sorry, my footage for some reason froze at that point. So JM made a very special meal. So that glitch is called weapon modifier corruption. It allows you to use the price of a meal and use the binary data of that for the modifiers of a weapon. So if you just saw the bow he just used, it shot 10 bomb arrows. So it gave him the modifiers shield guard up, zoom, multi-shot, durability up, and attack up. And it turned all those up to the max it could possibly be, basically. So now his bow does over 100 damage, and it's multi-shot with 10 arrows. So it does a lot. And you can also see he has 999 fairies and 999 endura carrots. And also just the meal he has, the stamina meal, that's also 999, but it just doesn't have a counter. So what that does is that's just standard IST inventory slot transfer, where he transferred the weapon data from either his bow, shield, or sword, and it gets applied to the food. And so for every one durability or attack power for his weapon or shield is equivalent to 100 fairies or endura carrots or whatever material you're doing IST for. So you can really quickly get a ton of materials using this glitch, but it's very, very complicated. So usually there's setups for that. Also, Jam just did a couple tricky wind bombs to get out of Korok Forest. Those aren't as quick as BLSS, so you're more prone to voiding out. But if you follow the correct paths, you'll be good. And so now I'll explain a bit more for IST in a second, but first, Jam's getting skew and bullet time. This is to prepare for a glitch called skew bounce, which he may or may not have to do, depending on RNG. And now he's doing a bit of a setup, because he's currently in the Sanctum of Hyrule Castle, where, Ganon is, but also because he hasn't beaten any of the Divine Beast, all of the Blight Ganons are there as well. And so he just pre-fired a shot into the air and walked into the cutscene. And what this is going to do is it's going to hit Windblight Ganon during this cutscene. So you see his head's kind of shaking a bit weird. That is from the bomb arrows.
Oops.
Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. So it's
Looks
not
like...
quite a one cycle, but it's going to have less than half its health for sure.
Probably
I don't know if it'll be one shot or not.
Just a tiny bit of HP probably. Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's one shot.
Aw.
Yeah. So the arrow just stays in place during the cutscene, which allows him to one-shot or almost one-shot it. But the rest of them, you cannot do that. But the weapon he has is so powerful, it one-shots each phase, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, right now we're using this early Omega Bow, which we will be upgrading when we get the Bow of Light later on the run, like maybe 5 minutes later. And this bow is pretty strong, as you can see, and we will be using this to wake up Taluses and making killing some bosses. It also has a pretty long range and also has the zoom property, which will help us defeat the bosses much easier.
Yes, so I can go more into IST now during the boss fights because they're all fairly repetitive because it's just one-shotting them, right? And so let me go back to Invalid Star tab. And so the way that worked was JM did IST, right? He messed up the inventory, he got multiple stacks of one item, but what he also did was he transferred something from the meals tab into a previous save which had not discovered the meal tab, right? So he had a roasted Endura carrot and he brought that into his previous save that did not have that like meal tab unlocked. That let him do what we call Invalid Star tab, which just lets him put different prompts in places where they shouldn't be. And also that normally in any percent he would have died there or taken a lot of damage, but he has 999 fairies, so he's gonna be okay. So yeah, Invalid Star tab, that allows you to do another glitch called Prompt Entanglement, where you can take the prompts from one item and put them on another. So what he did, which I mentioned earlier, he brought the materials prompt, which allows you to drop items on the floor, to the key items, which allowed him to drop the paraglider and the Sheikah Slate onto the ground, which normally you cannot do. Those cannot leave your inventory. But he dropped them, and that doesn't actually remove them. Like, he still has the Sheikah Slate and paraglider. It just removes it visibly from your inventory, but those are all flags, so he still has them. Now let me quickly explain what he's going to do. So he's going to parry right here. Nice. And so now he actually, okay, yeah, he has an updraft, so he didn't need to use the
I didn't need to use. So if you can remember, earlier when we were entering Santum, I shield jump and enter bullet time. What that does is like give me a very, very strong skill. And when I shield jump again and unequip my shield, the link will be launched high up, and that will be enough height to pull my bow and get into bullet time, and so I could kill Ganon much easier. But that wasn't necessary because he actually used his fire attack, which made an updraft, and so didn't need to.
Yes, and so now he's doing Dark Beast Ganon, which is, unfortunately you cannot use the Omega Bow, as we call it, but it's kind of an auto-scroller, you know? So he just uses the Bow of Light, shoots all its weak points, and will kill Dark Beast Ganon. So it's pretty much an auto-scroller, not really much to explain there. Actually, I guess we haven't explained Ragdoll Glitch. So the reason JM just bombed himself is because when you get skew and you do or actually not even get skew, but if you do a shield surf and you unequip your shield, you get what's known as Ragdoll Glitch. And so what that means is the next time something hits you, Link takes damage, he'll take damage and then instantly snap back into place. What this means is if you try to do a wind bomb and you have ragdoll glitch, it will not launch you because it'll just snap him back into place before you can get launched. And so it ruins wind bombs. So he just cleared ragdoll state by taking damage by bombing himself, and that'll let him do wind bombs later. So that's just a little reason why he just did damage to himself.
I did fully think the bombing yourself was just for swag, but I've got 9.99 fairies. You don't scare me, Ganon.
That too.
That's it, yeah. I actually did not had a ragdoll glitch because I never unequipped my shield mid-air, but just in case I
Yeah.
So yeah, right now we're going to defeat Dark Beast Ganon, and we're going to shoot his eye into this eye, but just before the arrow touches, we're gonna be changing bows, which is crucial for the bow of light transfer.
All right, now everyone close your eyes for the next 10 seconds, please. You cannot look. You cannot look.
If you're a regular viewer to make your own victory,
do not look at what's going on. This
Nothing
is
happened right now.
Yes, nothing's going on. Yeah. What happened?
Actually, before we get into the bow of light, as we segue into the next phase of the run, I do have a very important challenge for chat. If I can take just like a minute here to tee it up.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, can you just wait a few minutes because Jam's actually gonna continue the IST glitch here. If you want me to explain that first.
Oh, okay.
So, what JM now has, because he unequipped his bow right before killing Dark Beast, he actually brought the bow of light into his inventory, so he has it outside of the Ganon fight, which normally you cannot do. And so now by doing some more IST shenanigans, he's going to apply the weapon modifier corruption meal glitch onto the bow of light, which is going to give him a bow of light that does over 200 damage, shoots 10 arrows, has the zoo modifier, it has all those, but now on the bow of light, which is the most powerful bow in the game. So it's even more broken than the bow he had before. But yeah, you can explain the prediction now.
Amazing. So, friends in the chat, you have now seen some of the capabilities of Breath of the Wild glitches. You have seen infinite movement in a variety of ways through the use of BLSS and wind bombs. You have just heard Future's wonderful description of the super duper Omega Bow that's going to rain destruction down on everything for the boss killing part of this run. So my challenge to you, chat, is we're going to be opening a prediction momentarily. How many bosses in a row at a maximum do you think JM is going to kill without touching the ground in the back part of this run? There are going to be several streaks of killing bosses while airborne, and your job is to guess the longest one. Is it going to be under 10, 11 to 15, or 16 plus bosses in a row without touching the ground? That prediction will be live momentarily.
Yeah, it's crazy how you can just do that in this game with all the... Because of IST, because you have infinite fairies and stamina, you can just stay in the air as long as you want. Well, as long as you can keep yourself up, I should say. But yeah, so JM is sleeping to nighttime, which if you remember, I mentioned earlier, is because of Stalnoxes. And so now because it's nighttime, they will be awake. Otherwise, they would just be a pile of bones and you can't really do anything. But now they're a pile of bones that walk around and have one big eye.
And that big eye we can show right now with our Omega Bow. We're using the bomb arrow bow to kill these guys, because if we shoot them with the bow of light Omega Bow, it will damage the eye but leave it at 1 HP, because the animation of covering his eye will trigger instantaneously as we shoot. So by using an explosion, it will kill it in one go.
Yes. I actually did not know that, so that is a good thing to bring up, JM. Also, you see him doing wind bombs while midair, which we have not explained yet. So before, he was just doing wind bombs straight from the ground. But there are also there are many variations of wind bombs. They're very versatile. You can do a million different things with them. It's really cool. What he's doing is called a midair wind bomb. So instead of jumping up from the ground and placing the two bombs, while he's gliding, he has to precisely place the two bombs and go into bullet time. And so Link's like lined up a bit differently, which makes it a bit tricky to do, but JM has done this thousands of times, so obviously he can do it easily. And he's actually doing a specific kind of midair called glider pump midairs, which he actually pioneered, which are really cool. And also, because like I said, they're so versatile, he's not just doing like a normal midair wind bomb. By normal, I just mean one where he just gets height like a normal wind bomb. What he did there is called a quick midair, where you place both the bombs before going into bullet time. Normally, you'll place the first bomb, go into bullet time, and then place the second one while it's the time slowed down. But with quick midairs, you have to place both bombs before going into bullet time, which is really hard to do because you have to do it really quickly.
Yeah,
but JM also is really good.
In turn, we get lots of speed, not so much height, but because most monsters share the same height around this time, we can abuse these fast midair wind bombs. So right now we're inside castle, and now we're going to clip through this wall, which we got skill earlier on. If you didn't catch that,
right before the first talus. Right, so now JM's out of bounds in Hyrule Castle, and so water actually extends infinitely downward from where it is normally. So there are a few like ponds in Hyrule Castle, and so basically they're like waterfalls for us to put Cryonis blocks on and do wind bombs off of. So you can see right there, there's some water. And JM actually wants to avoid those, because if he goes into it, he'll go into the swimming animation, which is obviously much slower than doing a wind bomb. So the reason he went out of bounds is to get to this other talus that is inside Hyrule Castle, and he's actually going to kill it while out of bounds, which is really cool. So he gets it awake by shooting it with the bomb arrows, then kills it with the bow of light right after.
And right now we're going to go
legally that counts as being grounded. Out of bounds ground is still ground.
Yes.
And yeah, he crouched under the stairs and then uncrouched, and that clipped him back into bounds. So that's another example of two-way collision, and many other games with only one-way collision. If he just walked into the stairs, he would be back in bounds. But we have to actually push Link through the collision because it's two-sided. And so it just adds an extra layer of complexity to, the game. But I think it's pretty cool because it makes you have to do more clips.
So right now is maybe a good time to explain super launches, which we will be doing a lot of right now. So if you want to explain that quickly.
Yeah, so JM is doing super launches. So what that means is he's putting himself into, he's launching himself with ragdoll state, like a wind bomb, right? And so he's looking at a place where there would be a lot of lag. Lag is kind of determined by like how many textures or polygons there are. So if you look at like a lot of trees, you look at towns, you look at especially Hyrule Castle. Hyrule Castle has a ton of lag from all the effects there. The game will lag, and that's good and bad. It's good because, like I said before, you can abuse lag and turn it into speed. That's how he did a lag stop earlier, which wasn't good. But it's good in this case because he can do a super launch, which means he's converting all that lag into speed, making his wind bomb much faster than it would have been otherwise. See? So he just did one there. That launch would not have been that fast, but because he did a super launch, it's making him go way faster. So those are really cool.
Exactly. So by abusing that lag, we're multiplying our speed by 1.5, which is the factor that also lags the game. So usually this game runs on 30 FPS, and during the lag the game will always run on 15 FPS. So by opening the glider on what we call the lag frame, the game basically goes speed up by 2 in just 1 frame, and that transfers all the speed to Link.
Yes, and so it's actually slightly harder for him to get super launches right now, because at nighttime there's a bit less lag, but Jam knows where to look to get lag, and so he's able to still get it during nighttime. And I'm pretty sure right there that was not a super launch. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jam.
That wasn't.
Yeah. So they're frame perfect trick. You have to pull the glider like 1 frame after going into the inventory menu. And so it's pretty difficult, but it's kind of rhythmic, so you can get a feel for it. But it means, obviously, chances are you will not hit all of them in a run like this, but that will not stop Jam from trying, because they do save time and they are cool to do. So, as you can see, he's doing another one already. So yeah.
It's always good when the things that save time are also cool to do. That's not a guarantee in speedruns.
No, that is true. When BLSS was first found, there was a lot of controversy, and a lot of people actually stopped speedrunning this game because they thought it was too repetitive and boring. So it is actually true that if it's not fun, then it's not necessarily a good thing. But there are many pros to BLSS, and that's why also many people started running the game because of that. So it's good and bad. But now we have 2 versions of the game, so it doesn't really matter. I guess talking about that, I never mentioned the Switch 2 edition. I only talked about 1.6 and 1.9. So yeah, Nintendo released the Switch 2 edition, which is just updating the game's graphic and FPS. So now it's like 1080p 60 FPS. I don't even think it's 4K. Just for an extra $10, because buying the DLC was also not enough, right? So it improves the FPS and the graphics, but because it's improving the FPS, it makes a lot of glitches either not work or they just kind of are worse. So wind bombs are severely nerfed, bullet time bounces are severely nerfed, shield clips are also kind of nerfed, but they work. There's many caveats. I haven't looked too much into running on the Switch 2 edition because it doesn't really interest me too much, because the glitches are worse. The only thing that's better is that on Switch 2 there are significantly better loads. I was talking to JM yesterday, and I learned that the 100% world record, or the fastest way to 100% this game, is actually on Switch 2, because 100% this game takes like 15 hours. It's a really long time. So those loads add up.
I remember when it was more than a day.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gotten really low. It's still long for many games, but it's lower than it was.
Still longer than I have the patience for sure, but that's cool.
Yeah, so now it's fairly short. And so
So what we're doing right now is, after defeating this Hinox, we will be saving and reloading our save, and that will send us back to the last place we granted Link. So that is this place, which is a very cool way and easy way to come back to places that interest us, because as you could see, that Hinox was very low, and we usually want to maintain Link on a very high place so that we can make or maybe perform wind bombs that don't require as much height and can go for more speed.
yes, so this is the whole point of the prediction. JM is going to do a lot of the run where he's just not going to touch the ground, and that's so he can do these save orbs, drown orbs, void warps. He's going to do a whole bunch of different kinds of warps, and so he needs to stay in the air, because if he touches the ground, it'll reset his respawn coordinates, which he doesn't want to do if he's really low. But if he's up on a mountain, then that's good because it lets him get to other places quickly, right? And so the whole reason why this is how the game, or it's not how the game works, the whole reason why this is how the route works is because JM actually skipped the tower on the Great Plateau. So he clipped inside of all the shrines, which obviously in a casual playthrough you would not have done. But in speedruns, oftentimes we clip through the shrines because they're not activated. We cannot go inside them with the normal pedestal because they're just not ready until after you get the Great Plateau Tower up and running. And so that tower, one, it lets you enter shrines normally, but two, it also lets you activate the pedestal in front of the shrines, which lets you warp. And so right now, JM has no way to actually warp using his map because he cannot activate any shrines and he didn't get the tower. So the only way for him to quote-unquote warp is by doing these save warps or drown warps or void warps. That's the only way we can really warp. Other than that, he's doing all this movement himself through wind bombs and BLSS. And that's really, it's exclusive to this category. There's no other category really that you do something like this. All other ones either just don't need a tower because it's short enough where you don't need it, or it gets tower and you warp using shrines. Was there something you wanted to add, Jam?
Yeah, so right now, that makes... I was going to say that ground warping and reload warping makes the routing in this category much more interesting. It's not just get a warp point, do the objective and warp back. So everything feels like a continuous run instead of having instead of having just a warp point to warp back many times, as happens in other categories like maybe all dungeons when you get power.
Well, yeah, but actually that's like the one category that I was gonna say is an exception.
Yeah, well, right now people are skipping tower in all dungeons, which happens to be slightly faster than getting it. So yeah, if you want to explain a bit of that.
I'll explain that in a second, because right now JM's at Eventide Island. This is an island where oftentimes casuals struggle because it strips you of all your belongings and you have to forage on the island and survive. And so there's a Hinox there, which he just killed instantly. But if he goes onto the land, it will start this cutscene that'll get rid of all his items, and that would be very bad. But he's in the shallow water, which does not start the cutscene. And so he has to like narrowly avoid stepping on land with that BLSS step up, or else it would start the cutscene and it would kind of mess everything up. So that was really clean, but also a bit scary.
Sure.
And so,
what standing on shallow water does is it doesn't update Link's coordinate to be able to load back. So we're actually going to exploit that mechanic by being able to touch the ground, and then after defeating this talus, we're going to use the same technique as we did earlier, but now drowning in the water. And with what that will do is send us back to the place where I started the PLSS from, and that puts us in a very nice spot to continue with the route.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when you were going to do a drone warp, so I wasn't sure if to explain it. I wasn't sure if all those times you were in the water was intentional or not, but yeah, it makes sense it was. So all those times he was on the ground there, it was in shallow water, and so it did not reset his respawn coordinates. And so he was all the way at the bottom of the map, the bottom right coordinate, or quadrants. And so when he did that drown warp, it brought him more towards the middle right quadrants of the map, which is a significant distance. So, also he's just shooting this talus from so far away.
Yeah, we don't really talk, like, there's so much else going on in terms of glitches, but these arrow arcs are absolutely incredible. Like, I casually could never.
Is that the furthest you kill a boss from? I haven't really thought about that.
Probably.
That one was so far.
Probably this one, or maybe another one in Central Hyrule that will come later.
I
But
see.
this
I'm
one
surprised
is
you were able to
very
get it. Yeah.
It's actually not that hard. I mean, the bow of light has an infinite range, so that was rare. I usually get it in one shot, but the Talos will move during the bullet time state, so you have to actually anticipate where the weak spot of the Talos will be before shooting your arrow. And I miscalculated that. I overshot it, and that's why it didn't land for the first 2 shots.
Yeah, and that's why the zoom modifier is so useful, because if we had to like calculate the angle to shoot bosses with just the normal bow zoom without the zoom modifier, it would be terrible to kill these bosses. But with the zoom modifier, it pretty much shoots almost directly at the reticle in the middle. If it's a bit further, it'll drop off a tiny bit, but for the most part, it's not too bad. And if it does have some drop off, it's like easy enough to tell with enough practice. So, yeah. And yeah, so I guess there's just so much with IST that I could not explain because it's just so complicated. But one other thing I just want to mention really quickly is the meal he used for the weapon modifier corruption is not a meal you can get normally. So he did the prompt entanglement, bringing the certain item prompts to different pages, different items. He brought the drop item prompt onto the meal tab, and he dropped the roasted Endura carrots. Normally you cannot, cook with roasted foods. Like, those are in the meals tab, not the materials. You cannot cook with them. But with this glitch, he can bring the prompt and it lets him cook with it. And that's necessary because the thing that the game looks at is the price of the meal in order to determine the modifiers. And so using the roasted Endura carrot and all the other ingredients, it gives the meal price, I think it's 307 rupees. Normally you can't have like an odd number, so you definitely can't get 307. But he got it with that meal, and that gave him this super cool bow. But yeah, if you're more interested in actually learning about IST, I would look at YouTube videos because I cannot explain it that well live. And yeah,
I believe that was the North Dueling piece. So is this where we're going to take our break? I believe.
Yes,
I believe so.
Perfect. All right, our max streak is currently still 4. We've had a couple groundings. I think I overcounted on the shallow water, honoring the Zelda semantics, but we are going to take a quick break here. For those of you unfamiliar with Hotfix, on some of our longer runs, we take a break in the middle so that our runners can stretch, so that our production team can stretch, and so that additionally we can run ads on the channel. Thank you so much to everyone who has come in and supported Games Done Quick with your subscriptions, your gift subs, and your bits. All of your contributions help keep our shows running. Hotfix is year-round. I love the work that we get to do here. If you have the means, consider subscribing for exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, and access to chat during replays. But we are going to take a quick break here, so please get up, stretch, get some water, pet a small animal near you if that is an option available to you, and we will be back shortly with more All Kilton medals. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Make Your Own Victory. We have rained a decent, but not yet sufficient amount of destruction from the skies. So here to return to All Kilton medals, welcome back, JM.
It's good to be back. So we're going to continue our game. We have slept on this campfire, and we've made it night so that we can make this new branch. The next boss we're going to kill is the Starnox, so that's why exactly we need to make it night. And talking about wind bombs, maybe Future, you can explain a bit about what's the difference between ordinal, cardinal, round first, square first, and what's the main difference between these?
Yeah, so as I said, wind bombs are very complicated. So one aspect of them is you have to be mindful of the direction Link is facing. So he can wind bomb without any issues facing cardinal and ordinal directions, although ordinal are a bit tricky to do. And then you can also be slightly off of cardinal. Those work. But if you are in that weird spot between slightly off cardinal and ordinal, you can potentially get what we call a dead angle, which means you did a wind bomb and the bomb hits Link at like a weird enough angle, giving him too much speed, and that results in a lag stop. And so every time JM is doing a wind bomb, he is paying attention to what direction Link is facing. Otherwise, the wind bomb would either fail or it wouldn't give him the right speed or height, because all the different types of wind bombs and angles play a role in, the result. So, for example, if you do a circle bomb first wind bomb and you delay the square bomb a tiny bit, you will get more height than you would otherwise. But if you, for example, do circle bomb, square bomb, and then delay the detonation a bit, instead of getting more height, you'll get more speed. And so wind bombs are really technical, and if you're at a high enough level, you have to pay attention where you want height, where you want speed, what angle wind bomb will send you what way. Like, there's just so much to it. Right there, JM did a downwards midair. I'm not even sure what to call that.
Yeah, downwards midair.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know how to do that. He's falling and placing both bombs, and then the bombs are sending him further downwards as opposed to sending him in the air with most wind bombs. Yeah, wow.
So
I don't even know how to do that.
Basically, you cancel the paraglider, and very quickly, as a fast meter, you place both bombs before you bullet time. So that's the main difference between fast meters and usual wind bombs. You place both bombs before the bullet time. And just the difference between fast meter and downwards meter is you press B. You just press B before that.
I see. And also the Talus that Jem had just killed before this one was, if I'm not mistaken, the only one that he could kill without initially waking it up with bomb arrows, because its weak point, the ore deposit, is just sticking out of the ground for whatever reason. So he was able to just shoot it instantly rather than having to wake it up and then shoot it. But correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the only one in the game that's like that.
There's actually a second one we went past, but because it's in a weird angle, it's actually faster to wake him up normally and shoot him in a weak spot when it's out. It's the one we did just before the break.
And for those of you playing along at home, that's a new streak of 8 bosses in a row without touching the ground.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wait, actually,
there.
do those towers count as grounded? I feel like they might
Yes,
not.
they do.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now, actually, I do not know. How long are you going to be in the air jam? Are you doing another? I feel like you're going up to the Gerudo Highlands, right?
Yes. No, right now we're going to defeat Stalnox and another Talus, and we're going to ground ourselves to do a BLSS to another Talus. So no, right now we're not going to stay very long in the air.
Okay, I see. So yeah, this right here isn't really a floor is lava segment, because he's just trying to just move around quickly, and that just happens to be not touching ground. But that doesn't mean he cannot touch the ground.
Exactly.
So there's a bit of a difference there. Yeah. And so something we didn't get to really touch on earlier because you couldn't really see it, but when JM first started the run, he actually closed the game and then opened it to start from a fresh game. That's because a few years ago, the community voted on whether or not preloading should be allowed, which is when you're already on the game and you were in some area on the map. Usually it's plateau because that's where you start off on, and you have Link there, which already partially loads that area for when you go there next time, and it makes it so that when you go there in your new game file, there's less lag and loads because you were just there. But the community voted that it should not be allowed, and so the only way to combat that is by having to close the game every time before attempts. So now submissions have to show you closing the game and opening it back up again from the home menu. And speaking of the intro, we also don't start from the new game select screen. That's because the intro cutscene has varying lengths depending on lag, I think. And so to make it more fair for everyone, because it's just completely inconsistent, we decided to start from just gaining control of Link, because that's more constant. Yeah. And so Jam's doing a lot of very far kills right now. These are rivaling the other one I mentioned earlier.
This is exactly the one I mentioned earlier. Especially the one we just did before the last one is very, very far.
Yeah, and it's also nighttime, so it's a bit harder to see what's going on. So props to Jam for knowing where to shoot.
Yeah, some of these, like, Chad was commenting earlier about, like, killing bosses before they even load in.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, you're just shooting at a patch of ground.
Yeah. So
the game triggers some time to load the things. So to save some time, what I sometimes do is shoot the arrow, go to my pause menu, do some menuing, maybe eat my stamina food that I have to eat either way. So by eating during the arrow travel, what I'm basically doing is maximizing the load time and just doing various tasks at the same time.
yes, the game does not like loading things. It struggles. Maybe it's because we're actually moving really quickly, but I rather just blame Nintendo because that's more fun to do.
Nintendo is always the way.
Yeah, so now we're back at the Great Plateau where we were before at the very start. This time though, we have the paraglider and we're here just to kill a Talus. Yeah, I mean you're expected to be able to beat it while still on the Great Plateau, while still in early game, so even if he didn't have this Omega Bow, it would not be difficult to kill, but he kills it even quicker because he has the Omega Bow, which just one-shots everything, which it really is just so satisfying to look at. Like, he just kills them instantly. The health meter just goes down instantly. It's like the opposite of the feeling you have in Tears of the Kingdom when you see Ganon's health double. So it's nice.
That's a good analogy, yes.
Yeah. So right there, JM was kind of just sitting in bullet time for a while, seemingly doing nothing. What he's actually doing is he's waiting for his the bomb cooldown to replenish. So when you explode a bomb, there's a 6-second cooldown until you can use that bomb again. And so he had to wait 6 seconds until the bomb would be available. And he was pretty close to the ground, which means if he had just waited not in bullet time, he probably would have gotten way too close to the ground and not been able to do a wind bomb. But because he stayed in bullet time, he was just waiting for the bomb timer to replenish, and then
the
do a wind bomb.
cooldown of the bomb isn't slower when in bullet time.
Yes, that is also important. It's the same speed. The only thing that changes is link speed.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so I guess something we didn't really mention, but it's just a part of the game. So the stamina wheel, when you're in bullet time, it goes down a lot quicker because it's supposed to like put you under pressure to shoot whatever it is as quickly as possible so that you don't have infinite time, you just have like a little bit of leeway. And that's a bit of an issue normally when you're doing wind bombs, because it means you're only able to be in the paraglider state for so long. But JM has infinite, or not infinite, but a lot of stamina food, which allows him to just stay in the air however long he wants, and stamina is no issue. He can stay in bullet time as long as he wants. I guess Nintendo did actually kind of make it easier in Tears of the Kingdom, because you can stay in bullet time. It's only when you shoot an arrow that stamina goes down. But in this game, anytime you're in bullet time, the stamina wheel goes down, so you're under pressure. But that is not an issue at all in this category with all the stamina food.
Yeah, so I'm struggling a bit. Yeah, right. So what I did was just there, I collected a monster part, which is essential for later, because Kilton will only give us the medals if we have unlocked his his personal currency, which is called Mon. And by sending Kilton the monster part, you will be able to purchase some items from his store, which are very cool, obviously, as his. But also what that does, as I said, is unlocking the medals, which is the objective of this run. So at some point of the run, you have to get a monster part, and this lethal force happens to be the easiest one to get.
Yes, so let's go a bit more into Kilton, because I don't think I mentioned earlier. But his medals, the 3 medals he gives you, are actually the only post-game that Breath of the Wild has.
Yes.
So when you beat Dark Beast Ganon, there is a star that appears on your file to indicate that you've beaten the game and you've unlocked post-game. But that really changes nothing about the world other than the fact you can get the Kilton medals. So we killed Dark Beast Ganon and then closed our eyes for about 10 seconds, and now we can get the Kilton medals, basically. But we didn't actually beat the game, don't worry.
We closed that, honestly, quotable moment. We closed our eyes for 10 seconds, and Kilton decided, I like the cut of your jib.
Exactly. He saw how we were stealing the Bow of Light from Ganon, and he allowed it.
Also, I'm sorry, the Molduga kills, you just shot at a random patch of desert. That's
Yes,
nonsense.
so let's explain how I'm doing this. So I'm shooting a bomb arrow. One should be enough, but sometimes it triggers, it bugs and doesn't detect it, so I should shoot. And what that does, you may, if you have seen Dune, the novel, or you will know that by this beast can detect like vibrations on the sand, and when they do, they will jump to eat whatever is moving there. So we're baiting it basically with our bomb arrows, and when it's out of the sand, we can go ahead and shoot him, or rather shoot it with our Omega Bow.
Yeah,
So
just to clarify, as a casual player, you would just use the bomb rune most likely to get it out, but JM is using these bomb arrows, so it's quite funny to look at. But yeah, actually, that is all of the Moldugas. Do we want to go into how many overworld bosses there are, or are we still keeping that a mystery?
I think you can give the totals.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone in chat has counted the total number of kills so far to impact the prediction that has closed, they're on another level to me.
Okay. So there are a total of 84 overworld bosses. So 84 Hinox, Stalinox, Moldugas, and Talus. And so only 4 of those are Moldugas. There are 4 Moldugas total in this game, not including the DLC. So that means there are 40 Hinoxes and 40 Taluses. Also, his bow just broke. I don't even know why that happened, but all 10 arrows were scattered. I'm not sure why the bow breaking caused that. I've actually never seen that. Because there's a modifier where you have like spread out arrows, but I haven't seen that.
This bow will do that when breaking. It's quite funny to look at. It will only be the last shot. But thankfully we have we have 2 bows that throw bomb arrows, so it's no big deal. And yeah, it's very funny to look at.
Yeah, like I've seen a weapon modifier corruption bow that has the 10 arrow multi-shot and it's spread out rather than being concentrated like this. But it shoots them so far, it's like a 180-degree radius. It's crazy. Like you can't even see all the arrows. I guess that's another thing to mention. Normally when you have a multi-shot bow, it's either 3 arrows or 5 from like the Forest Dweller bow or Lionel bows, stuff like that. But JM's bow has 10 arrows, which is the maximum you can have in-game, but it's not really possible to get like in-game. But just in the game's data, you can only have up to 10. You can't have more than that. But yeah, when you have multi-shot bows, they don't normally have the arrows clustered like this. It's normally spread out like when he broke the bow there. But for some reason, the zoom modifier, if I remember correctly, it makes all of the arrows really cluster together, which is really useful because it means you aim at one point and all 10 arrows dealing 100 plus damage are going to that point, which is really helpful.
Exactly. So right now we're ending the Little Highland segment, and right now we will be doing another Flourish Lava. I think we defined already what that means, I hope.
I mean, that's what the whole prediction is about, so I hope they know what it means.
Yeah, I mean the name. Yeah, the Flourish Lava is the name we use for this technique. And right now we're sleeping again until night, as we've done many times already, because we're about to kill some stun boxes.
Yeah.
Now that's
Keep getting these streaks of like 8, 9, but right now the 10 or less is holding with the prediction.
So right now we got very unlucky and we got Lord of the Mountain. Literally, if you can explain what that is.
Yeah, so the Lord of the Mountain is this horse, if you can even call it that, this mystical creature that randomly will spawn on Satori Mountain. And twice in a row, or is it just continuing?
Yeah, I think it's continuing. I have to sleep again. Let's just tomorrow.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, it's this like mystical creature that spawns on Satori Mountain occasionally. It's kind of RNG, and so when it spawns in, does the Stalnox not spawn? Is that the issue?
Yes, exactly. Yes, so that will prevent the Stalnox from spawning.
Yeah,
Wait,
so there's a Stalnox on that mountain.
How do I do this?
There's a cooking pot on Mount Satori, or Satori Mountain, that you can probably use, right?
Just do this. Okay. I brain farted for a second. I didn't remember I had dropped my wood. So okay, this should be fine now. We have slept 2 nights, and Satori should be loaded.
No
way!
No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What? Maybe let's.
Do you want me to find a cooking pot for you on the mountain?
Yeah, I think I know where it is.
Okay. Yeah, there's one on like the northeast end of it. Do you know where I'm talking about?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Yeah, so this is unlucky. This is an instance of RNG messing this up. So there's not too much RNG in this game. Or I mean, I don't know. It depends on the category. But one instance is the weather. So, you know, like you said earlier, the fake rain. Wait, was that now or was that before we were back? I don't remember. But fake rain, and also just rain in general, is RNG, because the weather is RNG. And if it's raining, he cannot use bomb arrows or anything with fire because the water cancels it out. Right? And so this is another instance of RNG.
I don't
How is it still there? This is crazy.
I think
Someone in chat saying that horse just really wants to be on GDQ.
Yeah, no, what's happening?
Still here.
I don't really know if I have a glitched profile or something. Okay, maybe I should get out of area 64.
What?
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Let's just go there and
Yeah.
We're about to floor his lava, right? Can we go back?
Yeah.
This horse has left.
and right now,
If the horse leaves.
what do I do? So right, that cooking pot is also. Oh no, it's raining, so it's not. Okay, maybe I go up there again and just do it later because I need to have that respawn point for later because we're going to use that height to BLSS over to Hero Mountain. So yeah, I'll just do a windbomb chain and hopefully it will be gone later.
Everyone, put your most anti-horse energy in the chat. That's a new sentence. We're rolling with it.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
That's right.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. But this is honestly just showing off how useful mid-airs are, because you just get so much height by chaining them back to back. Like he went all the way from like the bottom of a mountain to the very top of one of the highest peaks in Hyrule.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
mirrors are so powerful because you need to have a step up. Okay, so it's still there. You don't need a step up to do them. So right now we'll wait a couple seconds here so the game remembers we've touched this place and later we can respawn here. So what I will do, and I hope it works, is just do the other
branch.
the other monsters and come back later. I'll just do a couple of them, so I'm not very positive about this.
I wonder if it would have just been better to go all the way to Hebra first. Later.
Yeah, but I also need another
Like you need to touch the ground there.
Exactly, I need another one there, so I can't really do that. I mean, I could, but it will be very, very slow. I mean, this has also been slow, so I don't know, maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
This never happened, so I have never had to think about this.
what a display of improvisational skill to be like, okay, this isn't working. I guess I'm going to wind bomb chain all the way back up a mountain very casually.
Yeah. Once you master the movement in this game, you can just do whatever you want. Like all the places where Jam's doing BLSS, the only real like requirement for that is Link has to do the step up animation where he just like steps up onto a ledge that's higher than where he is. And you can do that on like almost anything. So you can do the whole glitch and then just walk up on just a random ledge you find and it'll work. You can just do it wherever. Same with wind bombs. As long as you can get bullet time, you can do a wind bomb. You can go wherever you want. It's so versatile and it's just really cool and satisfying to do.
Yes, so right now I'm killing this last. Oh no, it's still there. So right now I cannot touch the ground, or else I'll get grounded. So I have to find a way to sleep or make the time pass without touching the ground. So maybe I can do something here with the tree. I'm not sure. If I manage to destroy the wood.
Wait, what are you trying to do?
Just sleep to make the time pass. You know.
But without touching the ground.
Yeah, the right now I'm on the water, so it doesn't detect it. What I wanted to do is wind bomb to the tree stump or something. I'm not sure what to do. Do you have any idea?
Do you think maybe?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, sometimes I feel like if you just keep sleeping to the same time, it won't really update. Sometimes you have to go to the morning and then sleep tonight.
Or
Maybe you should try that.
Maybe I can do it. I'll just go to this table and sleep. It's not the most. It's not very nice because I will have to climb again.
It's just more wind bombs for the viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just think about it that way.
More infinite height.
More eye candy.
We got people coming in being like, what even are Breath of the Wild speedruns? Yeah, that's the vibe. You have correctly identified the vibe.
Exactly.
We're so glad you're here for it.
No, wait.
Right.
What is happening? I don't know.
Oh, wait, try sleeping tonight. It might be away. It might go away now. Surely.
That's convenient that you can just see its aura in the distance.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Okay,
see? There you go. Okay.
We have rid ourselves of the horse.
So wait, Jam, are you gonna go there, then back to Gerudo?
So yeah, probably that's what I should do now.
Yep, I think that would be best.
There's a faster way to do this because I really need the height to BLSS to hero.
Yeah, so
Absolutely masterclass handling something that has never happened before. If you two won't use the phrasing, I will.
I mean, to be honest, future helped me a bit there, so props to that.
You could definitely say this has not happened before. But yeah,
and also usually when this happens, you automatically like reset the run.
Yeah,
but
is the rain not an issue, Jam?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
I mean, I can just use.
Because like the bomb arrows.
I can just use. Oh, wait, where is it? More. There.
Yeah.
It's not really. I can just use the bow flight. Bow friend.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know it was that simple. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why he's using the bomb arrows.
I think
the most hard-fought Stalnox in the entire run.
I think I have an idea here. I will just use this All Dungeons OG.
Yeah.
BLSS spot.
You could just BLSS to Gerudo Mountain.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole reason why JM has been using bomb arrows for the Stalnox, because he would have had to do one singular extra arrow shot if he did not use the bomb arrows. So yeah, huge time loss. Imagine using more than one arrow to kill an enemy, or kill a boss, sorry.
That's what speedrunners do, I guess.
Yeah, crazy.
Do silly things to optimize the run.
Yeah, so I don't think I actually mentioned speed cap because JM rudely interrupted me earlier. No shade.
I'm sorry.
So right now he's doing BLSS, and so the game has an actual speed cap. Wait.
No.
That's a wind bomb out of BLSS. Those are a bit tricky. But yeah, speed cap. So the game has a speed cap, and if you go over it, the game will just stop your speed entirely. So, like if that happens with a wind bomb, you will just get kicked out of ragdoll and just lose all momentum, and you'll just have to like glide back to the ground, do midair, something like that. With BLSS, if you hit the speed cap, you will keep sliding, but it will kill all your momentum, but at least it doesn't drop you to the ground. But yeah, so what JM is doing is as he's gaining speed by wiggling with BLSS, he has to be mindful of not hitting the speed cap in order to just keep his speed going. And so what he's doing is he's riding along the very edge of the speed cap using certain visual cues. which allows him to just go as fast as you can without hitting the speed cap. And so far, I don't think he's actually speed capped once this run so far, which is pretty nice.
No, not during the LSS, no.
Yeah. So
okay, so
it's just like something to be mindful of.
Yes, exactly. That's why we can't just accelerate infinitely with the LSS. If that wasn't a hard cap, we might as well go infinitely fast. So finally we have reached our destination.
We're back, gamers.
In Hebrew Mountain, and right now we're going to the district we mentioned, and that we have done several times now. We are going to absolutely make sure that we get this warp by standing a couple of seconds here. So we'll just do that. I do not want to go back to Satori Mountain right now.
We do not need to see that mountain again.
No, thanks.
It is done more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
So
we're going. Jam's going all the way to the corner of the map just for one singular Stalnox. I wasn't sure if you were going to say anything else about it.
Look, that was a speed cap, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. So all his speed just got stopped instantly, but he kept sliding anyway. So, yeah. Unfortunate, maybe I jinxed it, but it's right above the Stalnox anyway, so...
Helpfully demonstrating it for the viewers.
Yes, exactly. Alright, and now at the edge of the map, there are void out planes, so Jam, once the Stalnox dies, is going to drop down and void out, rather than save and reloading or drowning. He just goes into the void out plane, and it puts him back on the top of the mountain, hopefully. Yep.
Yes.
Hey, we did it.
My heart stopped for a second.
Yeah, you might have had to see Satori Mountain again.
Oh no. So we're back. We're back, gamers. So yes, right now we'll be heading to... We're going to do actually a pretty long Flourish Lava segment, but I will not reveal how many. you will have to count.
Yes.
You got so distracted by the horse, you forgot there are very valuable channel points on the line.
Exactly.
Yes. Nothing more important.
Nothing more important than to flex your channel points with strangers on the internet.
In a way, isn't that what the speedrunning community is all about? It's not. Thank you for coming to this.
That's very
Thank you
true.
for coming to the symposium.
Yeah.
I mean, many people do just speedrun just for their
Are you speaking from experience?
No, just
you do actually. Yeah, you do actually bring up a real point, though, because I couldn't help but peep through your SRC profile for this game, JM, and you have 3 times on the leaderboards, and they're all meme categories. it's dog treasures, this, and I forget the third off the top of my head. Well, was there something in particular that drew you to the extensions board?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't run categories for popularity. I just run whatever I like the most, and this category happens to be probably my favorite one. After probably Master Sword Restricted, which is a category that is highly regarded as probably the most complete category in the game, movement-wise at least. So you want to get the Master Sword without early Master Sword glitches. For example, the one we just with the campfire. So instead you have to get 13 hearts. You can do that by completing dungeons, or what we do in the actual category, that is completing 40 shrines and getting the sword. So that's a pretty also a nice category. So yeah, I feel like the categories by by the level of fun, not by not by
After my own heart.
Yeah, I like how you call that the most complete category, as if that's not like the only main board category that doesn't beat the game. Yeah, the category ends when you get the Master Sword, so some would say it's not complete.
And those people do not show up to make your own victory, TM.
We don't like those people in this show, no.
No, I do. When I saw you had submitted this transparently, JM, because I look up folks on SRC to see what else they're running, what other what other nonsense is happening, and seeing an SRC page that is just memes makes me so happy.
Yeah, so that was actually very, very tight. I hope I drowned after the Hinox died. If not, we will have to probably come back here. So let's just pray that wasn't the case. So yeah, because the game precise want you drown, and the Hinox, if it hasn't been defeated, it will not count as towards the completion.
Yes, Jam, I actually have a request for the next speedrun for you to do. It follows with your meme categories. I think you should do the Butter Dog speedrun.
Sure. That one is...
And just for people who may not know, can we have the full title of that speedrun category?
Yes, it's Butter Dog, dog with the butter on him %.
Gotta be one of the better speedrun category names.
It's amazing. Well, actually, no, the category kind of sucks. I don't think many people like it.
Yeah.
It falls under the...
Great
What were you gonna say,
Plateau. Yeah, it's very trash category, to be honest. It's just Great Plateau, buy some butter, and then hope for RNG that the vendor sells it to you, spawns in a certain stable, and then just drop butter on the dog. I mean, it's funny, but as a speedrun, it's pretty trash.
Yeah. There was a bit of an issue a few years ago with there being too many category extensions that were very similar, because they just followed the pattern of Great Plateau plus one other thing, and those really aren't fun because it's basically just running only Great Plateau, which not many people like doing. But it has a funny name, so I think that's the only one they kept, or one of the few. Yeah, so JM is now near the Elden region, which means if you don't know, Elden has the highest peaks in the game in terms of height. So he's going to have to do a lot of wind bombs to get up and around all the mountainous terrain, but he's pretty good at mid-air wind bombs if you couldn't tell already. So he'll be fine. Also, just shooting a Hinox blindly because it's a very dark area. And yeah, he can tell that the bosses are dead based on both a visual cue, you see the purple smoke, but also I'm pretty sure he uses an audio cue. So a lot of the times Jam will kill a boss and then quickly wind bomb away or do some quick movement to get away. And he actually has to be kind of mindful when doing this, because if he gets away from the bosses too quickly, they will unload, making him have to redo them if he, messes that up. And so they won't be dead. So if he goes to kill them and there's a boss that's not complete or not killed because he got out of range of them, then that's going to be a bit bad. Hopefully he's gotten them all. But that is a chance. Do you think there were any that were kind of close, JM?
Yeah, the one I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago. I don't know, I'm not...
The one with the void out?
Yes, exactly, that one. The other ones, I'm pretty sure I killed them all. But I guess there's only one way to know it, and that's at the end of the run when we call it with kill them.
Yes,
Press on.
And then you'll go back to Mount Satori. Yeah.
No, please.
So yeah, this is another place with a lot of lag.
Yeah,
So you'll see
little
Jam
bit.
looking up, doing the wind bombs, otherwise he will lag stop. But he can also use the lag for super launches, so it all depends on what he wants to do.
So right now
He wants a super
using
launch.
right now I'm using ice arrows to wake these guys up, because if you didn't know, if you pull a bow with bomb arrows in Elden, you may get yourself bomb. It will automatically ignite and explode damage link, and you can't throw them. So yeah, we have to make a small trip to some ice arrows to kill this guy.
Yes. And also just another shout out to IST, because JM is just enduring the extreme heat of Elden with 0 clothes on, because he just has 999 fairies. Well, now it's probably a bit less, but he does not need to heal at all. You see, it was still 932. He hasn't even cracked 900 yet. So anytime he's in some form of environmental condition, whether it's cold or heat, it doesn't matter. He can take as much damage and it means nothing because he can just tank it all. So Link is literally on fire and it means nothing because he just has so much health.
Alright, so right now I will be I'm in shallow water, so that doesn't count, and we'll be doing a very precise setup. Hopefully I can get it first try. Nice. So what I did right there is a precise setup that will let me not touch the ground, and now after defeating this one Hinox, I can do a reload warp, and I will be back at the place where usually we talk with Junobo to advance the quest for the dungeon.
Yes. Jam, do you actually know which kind of warps are quickest?
Surely it has to be void drones, because you don't need to deplete your stamina, and also the load seems to be quite fast. But surely the other one, the next fastest one, is just drown warp in water.
I see. Because I'm just curious, because I wonder if, like, save warping instead of drown warping would be quicker because you don't have to deplete your stamina, but you do have to menu, so I'm curious,
so
you know,
that-
it's faster.
That depends on how much stamina you have already. If you have
True.
all your wheels of stamina, maybe it's better to reload warp, but if you are almost running out of it, you may want to go near a patch of water to
I
that.
see. Do you do the same
situation.
warps every time, or do you change it depending on your stamina?
Yeah, depending on my stamina,
Oh, okay.
I will decide whether or not to.
I did not know that. That's actually really interesting.
So yeah, right now I'm sleeping 10 in tonight, because our friend Kilton will only spawn during the night. We're about to talk with him.
Yeah, he's quite the cutie, so try not to get a cuteness overload when you see him. But yeah. So now we're reaching like the final stretch of the run, the last few overworld bosses. So I don't know if we should do the prediction now, because I think there's less than 10 left.
I would say, would you say there's more or less than?
I would say there's less than
because
10, correct, Jam?
Sorry?
Less than 10
well, yeah.
bosses?
I think so, yeah.
In that case, with a max streak of 9, I think the under 10s have it.
Wow.
We had a lot of 8, 9 streaks, but nothing that quite cracked up to 11.
Wow, that's so close. Yeah, so right there, Jam talked to kill him, even though we don't have all the bosses beaten. That's because you have to talk to him once when he spawns over here in order for him to spawn where he normally does, which is just outside of any of the towns in the game. So Yeah, that's why I just talked to him there, even though we don't have all of the bosses being. But pretty soon we will have the bosses completed.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I haven't missed any.
The end
You'll
of the
actually get
route
back
is near.
and Kilton will be replaced by the Lord of the Mountain. Sir Roden.
Wait, actually, I just remembered in Tears of the Kingdom, Kilton has like a brother or something, and he's obsessed with the Lord of the Mountain. Wait, is this intentional?
Yes.
This is lore.
I just remembered that. I don't know. What was his name? Colton or something?
Not sure.
I just remember it's just Kilton, but he's like the Lord of the Mountain colors.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a crazy coincidence, actually. Wow.
Alright,
Yeah,
so...
Colton.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Colton
Well,
just messed
we're
up your
making-
run because you're giving Kilton too much attention.
We're making our way to Kilton, which we're going to talk with. Right now we will sell a monster part, which is the one that we got from the Lysalfos, if you can remember that. There's the Salfos horn. This will unlock the medals, and we have to talk about every single one before getting their prizes. So that's one medal. Let's see.
Yeah, so time will be coming up soon if he has all the medals.
Yes. Please, please, please. No. Oh no, wait. Yes. Yes.
Yes, nice. Okay,
Okay.
now if there's Molduga, so at least there's only 4.
Yes. And now the last one, and we will be ending our time in 3, 2, 1, time.
GG. Horse couldn't keep us down. Congratulations. This was a phenomenal monster mash. Super quick. Future JM, where can the people find you and what are you up to on the internet?
Jam, you go first, obviously.
Well, I sometimes stream on Twitch. It's not a very consistent schedule, but I try my best. I stream on JM_runs if you want to check that out. I also have YouTube. So yes, with the same name.
Yeah, I stream sometimes on Twitch. I haven't really streamed in a year, but I do upload on YouTube. Not frequently either, but it's more frequently than streaming. Just Futurelander on both. And I have made videos on IST, so I guess you could check those out if you are still confused on those.
Incredible. Well, thank you both so much. This was an absolute treat of a run, even if the RNG got away from us very slightly. That was absolutely incredible to watch. I'm so glad to have been able to kick off the summer season with you both. And if you are watching, the Monster Mash is far from over. We are going to trade in our ranged gear for a little bit more direct action. When we come back from the break, Jaxler is going to be running Vex's Troll Tag speedrun, which if you don't know, I highly encourage you to find out just what that means. We will be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Make Your Own Victory, the GDQ Hotfix show that attempts to capture 100% of the joy of speedrunning in 0% of the completed video games. We are continuing our Monster Mash episode here in the spirit of building out our community. Be sure to check out the Community Grab Bag Showcase on after Make Your Own Victory tonight. But if you yourself are looking to get more involved with the GDQ community, I highly recommend joining the official Games Done Quick Discord. There's a hotfix role in there, but you can get updates on upcoming events, see the full hotfix weekly schedule, chat with nerds like me, and much more. Use !Discord in the chat for an invite and more info. But speaking of speedrunning communities, there is perhaps no better exemplar of the speedrunning community's best than our next runner, and no run more nonsensical than the run he is about to perform. So please welcome to the stage, running Troll Tag in Vex, the one and only Jaxler.
Well, thank you for such a flattering introduction. I'm very, very excited to be here, y'all. As Quack said, my name is Jaxler. I've been speedrunning for about a decade. And this is Vex, which is a game that dares to ask the question, what if Super Mario Sunshine was a good video game? This was made by Acclaim Entertainment in 2003 and was a multi-plat release on the 6th gen hardware. I'm going to be doing this run on the Xbox version of the game just because the loads are faster. So for a set, we use load remove time. So if you watch this run and you're like, yeah, I want to do that, just whatever version you can get yourself access to. There's really no difference other than the loads, which is really nice. You're gonna notice I'm not at the title screen. There were two kind of, this run, Troll Tag is very, very short. It's kind of like our 16-star equivalent. If you compare it to a much worse collectathon platformer like Mario 64, this is essentially the short 16 to 17 minute well, where are we at now? I don't know. I get confused with IGT conversions. But because the run goes by so fast and we front load a lot of the more difficult segments compared to the any percent route, I figured it'd be prudent to give you all a visual example of the primary speed tech that you'll be seeing used throughout the run, which are called extended high jumps and extended long jumps. So, this game has a high jump, long jump system very similar to Super Mario Galaxy, where you hold down crouch and you press jump. You'll get a crouch jump like that, or a high jump. And if you have momentum going into the crouch, you'll get a long jump. However, there's a bug with the animation state machine in this game where if you press jump and then within 4 frames, press the crouch button, it'll start your jump animation and then perform the high jump or the long jump. So I'll give you an example of what this boost looks like. So I'm going to stand next to this and use the texture here. You'll see with a high jump, I get kind of right to that sort of triangular bit on the right side. With an extended high jump, I go even higher in the same amount of time that the animation takes place. So not only do you get more height, but you also go faster in the same amount of animation, if that makes sense. So this applies not only to going up with your high jumps, but also every time you'll see me do one of these long jumps, I'm pressing A and then pressing crouch between 1 to 4 frames later. It's really difficult to kind of talk about that while the run is actually kind of starting. I used to have the opening cutscene to be able to do that, but shoutouts to Crow3893, who found a strat that will make it impossible for me to do so. But yeah, the category name. So I mentioned this is kind of our 16-star. It's called Troll Tag. Goal of the category, as you might guess, is to tag a troll. There is a troll in the level called the Below. So our goal is to get enough of the MacGuffins required to unlock that level, and then we will go interact with him. I won't spoil that surprise for you just yet, but there's a reason that the category is built around it. And part of that is probably human nature. Okay, Quack, are you ready to go? Are you ready to
I have
be
never
overwhelmed?
been more ready.
All right. So time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we skip an
luck,
opening
Jackson.
cutscene, and then I'm going to disappear off camera because I'm going to intentionally unplug my controller. Crow discovered that if you do this while it's trying to load you into the tutorial, you can quit out of it faster, which saves about 20 seconds or so. And then right here, you're already seeing me use those extended high and long jumps that I covered before we even started to get enough distance to get up and over to that rock suit upgrade. We're going to use that to get a couple of very quick hearts. The Wraith hearts in this game are like your power stars in a 3D Mario type of situation, right? 18 of those to go reach the troll, and that's kind of our goal, is to get 18 of those as quickly as possible. Now, before we go get our first one, you're going to see me pummel the living daylights out of this little guy right here. And this may seem very random, but this is extremely important. What this is going to do is build up that rage meter that you see in the top right corner. Unfortunately, he got stuck on some geometry, so I'm going to have to destroy his friend too. Sorry. It's very important that I do this. So this is going to fill up our rage meter, and then right here we're going into our first and only sundial section. Gonna go for a really tough strat here to try to do this rageless. Okay, let's see if I can save it. Okay, we saved it. Cool. So you just saw me do a trick to save myself from immediate doom called a rage jump. So I mentioned earlier with the extended high jumps and extended long jumps that there's a window essentially. Oh, I might be doomed again. Okay, we're just gonna tank the death and move on with our others. I'm going for a really difficult strat through here, so and then also the first time you die in this sundial, it takes forever to reload. Let me see if I can just hit this again for my own confidence. Okay, that's what I was trying to go for.
Easy every time.
But unfortunately, I can't really leverage. Oh my goodness gracious. We are having a moment right now. Hold on a second. I gotta okay, so now I'm out of rage bar. So this has gone really south really fast. You know what? We're just going to oh my goodness gracious. So I went for a uppercut. This is going I can't believe how bad this is going right now. It happens though. This game's really hard.
This, Jackson.
We're going to do this the normal way. All right. Well, that is a crushing blow to my self-esteem, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. We'll do the old version instead, so we'll have to wait for the platform cycle. So what is this rage jumping glitch that I'm doing, right? Essentially, as a sort of helping the player and kind of cheating in their favor, it allows you to buffer a short hop out of specific animations that occur, usually ones involving you getting boosted up into the air. And so because it generates a short hop, you can also perform an extended high jump or long jump out of that hop. Now, whenever I activate that rage meter, that triggers an animation that can give you one of those short hops. So this essentially allows me to double and also triple jump if I use the rage to shoot a fireball. So we're gonna be using that a lot all over the course of this run. And as you can see as well, it can be used to save yourself too. Now we're playing soccer. So this is a very, this heart can either be extremely evil like it is right now and get stuck and have the soccer. Oh, you didn't die. Okay, there we go. So we're playing soccer. We need to kick this soccer ball into the goal. And because this is a game from 2003, the physics are something else. What I'm trying to do is line this up in such a way where, first of all, there's a ton of shot blockers. The zone defense is really difficult to deal with here. Get out of my way, please. I want to at least try to show this off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if you kick the ball into the goal and then long jump, you can kind of pick up the heart as it's spawning in, and that will skip a 7-second animation or so of it being you solved the puzzle. Here's your thing. Now we're gonna go ahead and get kind of what's typically the first heart that most people will grab in a casual playthrough, which is top of the tree. What you're intended to do is take an elevator ride up some platforms, and that's really slow. So we're gonna climb up the side of this wall here. It's generally fastest to jump up the sides of climbable surfaces instead of the extremely slow climbing animation. And then we're going to do another rage jump. We long jump, and then we cancel our momentum by popping rage. And then we can cancel that into a high jump, and that gets us all the way up here. And so that's heart number 3 of 18. And so one of the interesting things that goes into routing this game and really being comfortable with the movement is that for the most part, whenever you want to do one of these rage jumps, you need a full rage bar. But after you perform a rage jump, you'll notice that my rage meter isn't pulsating like that, implying that it is a pixel away from having full rage. So essentially, every time you do a rage jump or plan to do one, you need to route in somewhere where you can kick an enemy in the face so that you can refill your rage meter. And that's why it's also really important that when I go for a rage jump, I cancel the rage state as quickly as possible so I don't burn excess meter. That's kind of why I caused some problems with for myself in that first section in the sundial level. Okay. I'm going to need some focus time here because I'm essentially going to go for a quick cycle that starts pretty much as soon as I start moving into Timberdale here. So let's see if I hit this. I can afford like a minor movement mistake or two, but anything major and the cycle is borked. This should work. So we're going to do a rage jump and then a fireball jump. Oh no, oh, that's so evil, game. So I got the strat, and then literally my middle finger slipped and hit my left trigger, causing me to ground pound and miss the strat. That's so tragic. I literally nailed it, and then I just chose to throw for content. We're just throwing for content today.
That's what it is.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna warp to hub, and I'm gonna go for it again because it's swag. And also I have no idea where the cycles will be. Let's do this again, shall we? Yeah, and you also have all these enemies to deal with. Almost fell off right there. There we go. And that gets you there. So essentially by doing that strat, you're whenever you're doing those like fireball jumps, which you can also cancel into a jump, you only get one fireball per air time. So I actually land on a bit of, I wouldn't say out of bounds geometry, but normally inaccessible geometry in order to reset my aerial resources and get another fireball jump. You're also gonna notice now that because I went for that strat, I have a lot less rage in the tank. So I'm gonna have to spend a little more time beating up these enemies here in order to get my resources back. And that should do it. And now we're in Dragon Reach. So the more, it's similar to like your 3D Mario, the more MacGuffins that you get, the more levels you'll have access to. And so we're making sure to grab essentially the 18 fastest hearts within the levels that we have access to, right? So we unlock Dragon Reach after 2. So we could have gone here after we kicked the soccer ball into the goal, but instead it's much more efficient for us to come over here and go ahead and make our way into Dragon Reach to get some faster collectibles here. So that was the Dragon Claw one. You saw as well there that I actually got an extended high jump out of a booster platform. This is kind of what I was talking about, where there's a bunch of different animations actually where you're allowed to buffer a short hop out of that. And so you can use that to get essentially a free like double jump midair. And so I'm gonna go, so this is actually a really good example of where the height that you get from extended high jumps really matters. So even with the rage jump tech, if I don't do extended high jumps, I get a ledge grab there. I am forced into a ledge grab. Okay, so I missed that strat. I was a little too slow. So essentially, I'm trying to skip this entire sub area by using a single rage jump, and there's no enemies in here. So I need to go ahead and backtrack that. I was going for a little bit of a swag strat called a rage long jump. Whenever you're doing some of these techniques, and it might look like, oh, he's bad at the game, he keeps messing them up. If you rush the inputs, it'll essentially buffer a high jump or a long jump, depending on the animation that you're using to get the safety jump, for lack of a better term. So typically when you pop rage and you rush the input, you'll get a high jump, but I wanted a long jump there. So the input window for that is actually much tighter. But if you get the long jump, obviously a long jump sends you forward and not upwards. So it's a little bit faster if you nail it. And I didn't, so I got punished. But hey, when you're playing Vex, to me, this is one of those games where you just gotta try to show off all the cool stuff, right? Okay. Yeah, so like right there, for example, was actually a rage long jump, and I kind of regret it slightly because it forced me into an awkward spot. But I should be able to recover this with this cactus. Oh, I need to, oh, here we go. Okay, perfect. So
that is some of the geometry of all time. Yeah. I love it.
One of the things that makes this game so punishing is that so much of the level design, especially once we get to TPM, is incredibly vertically built. So if you fall, you fall really far, and there's not really like a checkpoint system in this game, so it can be really tough. So right now what we're doing is the Soul Jars objective. This is like your red coin star. where you need 6 of them in this game in order to spawn a Wraith Heart somewhere. And while we're doing this as well, we are going to grab the wingsuit here as well. And then really awkward camera flip that you have to be ready for depending on your long jump timing. And then interestingly enough, because of the order that we do things, the soldier's route that you see me doing here is actually pretty different from what you do in any percent, because you actually grab that wingsuit while doing a different objective in the any percent route. You're also going to notice that I have a couple of other aerial resources at my disposal just in vanilla gameplay. If I press the attack button midair, it'll give me the flip kick similar to what Pac-Man does in Pac-Man World 2. If you're a ball knower, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then you also have this like ground pound move midair as well. And so both of them have different properties. You can use them both once per airtime. And then if you see me randomly like just ground pound towards the ground, that usually means I tried to get that crouch input. Or sometimes even it'll just like, you'll do the extended long jump and sometimes because I have, you know, analog triggers, it'll just re-trigger anyway. Thank you, Xbox controllers. We're gonna use the rock suit again here. This is kind of like a transformation thing that you only use a couple of times throughout the game to get some quick Wraith Hearts. And then we're gonna go use the wingsuit. So for a lot of the stuff at the top of the map, you're essentially expected to go up this like, you see me at the start of the level going up at quite a bit, this like sort of spinal column of like a giant dragon skeleton in order to reach sort of the top of the map. But with the rage jumping, we can kind of take a different route. I actually, right there, you saw me use a flip kick. Oh, there we go. And so that's where the trouble, again, can be sometimes. If you rush the input, you can get the wrong... Sometimes you really don't want a long jump, or sometimes you really don't want a high jump. And so I got punished with a long jump, and then because of that, I had to go find more rage to deal with, so... I had to find more rage. Sentences I thought I would never say. Yeah, so, like, right there, for example, it's, like, for some of these, like... Okay, game. Sure thing. Give me a second. Maybe I should do the strat. And... Okay, I don't know what Vex is. I was playing out of my mind in practice. And the moment I start
how it
talking...
gets stats.
See, y'all, I've been speedrunning for 10 years. It still gets me. There we go. Okay. So even with all those mishaps, that's still way faster than the intended route, where you're supposed to go all the way up and around the entire map, essentially. But we can use this wingsuit to go ahead and grab this heart right here. There we go. So, Quack, how are you doing? I feel like I'm getting a little bodied by the game, but I remember you mentioning that you haven't seen too much of this game or this run in a while, so...
Yeah, no, I remember when you first approached me, when I first met you at a mainline, at like an on-site GDQ, you mentioned this speed run, and I checked it out then and was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever, and then promptly forgot about it because it was my first GDQ and there were 800 other things going on.
Right.
And yeah, this feels like a great payoff, full circle moment. What do you mean all of the tech is 4 frames in this obscure 2003 Xbox?
Oh yeah, game? Oh yeah.
I mean, that's sort of your MO with like every game you play, though, right? You are very much a hidden gem sort of speedrunner.
Right. Yeah, and I want to make very clear as well that like you don't need to go for all of this hard stuff that I'm going for. This is kind of like, again, the sort of 16-star route, so you could like route in different objectives or go for strats that make things a lot easier. Such as this strat that I'm going to go for, which is the Sand Temple sub-area skip. So you're intended to hit these 3 buttons to cause the Sand Temple to raise out of the sand here. I'm going to be attempting to reach the heart at the very top of this map without that, and try to hit a cycle. I'm probably off pace for it now because I landed on a slope, and that changes the way I'm allowed to jump. Oh, we still made it. Nice, okay. Or maybe this is the backup cycle. This is the tricky part. So I'm gonna do a high jump here on purpose, wait. Then we do the fireball jump into here, and that gets us this heart. perfect. That is a
Nice.
very devastating strat if you miss it, because you saw how much rage that I had to burn. A technique that I've been using actually over the course of this run. So every time in casual play you shoot a fireball, it costs a good chunk of your rage meter. But if you throw a fireball within a certain window of doing your rage jump, it will just sort of eat the fireball and not cost any rage. And so we call that a fakey fireball. And that's kind of how, even with the, like, you still, like, it still costs more than just a regular rage jump in terms of your rage economy, just because of the fact that the timer runs down a little bit further. But, there'll be a really good example of that in the objective after this one. The reason why we do that strat and do this first is because for this heart and its puzzle, you have to shoot fireballs at the statue eyes. It very conveniently, the devs, oh, that was gold too, nice. Very convenient. Hey, bang! Very conveniently, they put this like well of rage or font of rage that refills your meter for you automatically. So all of that rage that normally would have taken forever to rebuild, we don't have to worry about. And so this here coming up, you're supposed to fly into this heart with the wingsuit. That's the intended solution. But we're gonna do a rage jump into a fakey fireball. And you saw my timing right there. I shot that fireball really quickly after the initial rage jump. And so I don't get as much height, per se, from that initial rage jump. But I get a free cast of the fireball. And so that really, really helps. All right, we're gonna head back into the Sand Temple, actually. There's actually 2 hearts in that sub-area, which is pretty unusual. This time, it's in the core, so I actually don't need any rage to do this. If I do this quickly enough, I'll hit a cycle where kind of a moving object will be out of my way, so I can immediately do a extended long jump right to it. Just like that. Nice. Oh, this might also glowed pretty significantly. Yeah, nice. Nice.
All right, we're coming back.
We're coming back. We're coming back. Now we're getting into so like the first low-key, some of the first hearts in the run are some of the hardest. This arguably might this section, Tempest Peak Manor. I call this the Chibi Robo level because you go in here and it's like the manor of like a giant. So you are small while everything else is like quote unquote human sized. So it's Chibi Robo, right? The first heart that we're going to tackle here is the piano sub area. So we're going to go inside this this baby grand piano. And you can technically do this without the fakey fireball, and it's a little bit faster to do so. But it's like you need like really good height on your extended high jumps. And I wasn't feeling as confident with it in practice. And that's one of those things, right, where you can kind of tailor those kinds of strats based on like how you're feeling on a given day. Anywho, we're gonna skip most of this sub area by making use of this kind of pole that's intended for a later part, but because it's part of like a treble clef in this area's design, they made it much longer than they should have. And then right there, you saw me basically clip into the treble clef right there by jumping on top of the pole, because the end of the pole is like inside that bit of geometry. And we've pretty much made it all the way to the top of this sub area. And then I used a rage jump right there to save myself. There we go. Okay, I'll take it. That's a really tricky sub area right there, depending on what your cycles are looking like and all that jazz. We will take it. Whew, okay. So we only got a couple of hearts left. This is a very, very fast-paced run, so we've got only a couple of hearts here, but the next one we're going to go for is the grandfather clock. Now, normally the grandfather clock has an entire sub-area that you're supposed to traverse. Oh, nice. I got that extended long jump, essentially. So for that part in particular, if you don't do a manually timed extended long jump and you rush it, you'll get a high jump off of bouncing off that couch cushion. So that's a pretty tricky strat to get. So we can use this elevator to get up to the top of the grandfather clock and completely skip the sub area. So in the ending percent run, you actually do go in there briefly because there is another sundial entrance in there. which are kind of like the Mario Sunshine secret courses for this game. The very first heart we got in the run was one of those. So the whole...
What's the difference between any percent and troll tag in terms of like length?
The any percent world record, at least in RTA, is like an hour and 31 minutes long. Because you need 60... Oh, I got eated. Okay. So I was trying to avoid that. This is I'm a little low on lives. Okay, so we're gonna not play it too risky, because I threw so many lives away in the first sundial, but that's fine. So you saw right there, the kind of big like gimmick of this stage is that if you fall down to the ground, it's really bad because there's this monster guy, this little doggy, who tries to eat at you. And this time we got past him just fine. But if you have fast enough extended long jumping, you can completely avoid him. I was just a little bit too slow, so unfortunately he nabbed me. And now we're going to be doing down the drain. So this is actually something that's unique to troll tag. So weirdly enough, this is like the intended way you do it. But the way this like section works is after you do this slide like challenge, you land in a much later level called Summit of Sages and to grab this heart. I don't know why it's like that, but because of that, in the any percent run, we actually save it until we reach Summit of Sages, because with a rage jump, you can actually clip through the bottom of that cage and get the heart that way, and it's faster than going down the drain. So you got one more quick heart, and then we will unlock the below, which has our beloved troll. And so, Quack, while we're on our way there, I want you to venture a guess as to what it could possibly mean to tag the troll. I want to hear your ideas.
So my initial guess was, because I had also been watching a fair bit of like Jet Set Radio, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk runs. My initial thought on hearing the word troll tag was something to do with graffiti. So I'm gonna, for argument's sake, I will lock that in.
That is a
sound off in the chat if you've never seen this.
That is an interesting guess. So the troll in time will be coming up actually very soon, by the way. So the troll in question is so the way below works is it's this giant aqua dome that you're supposed to swim through to reach some of these outer areas. But what if I just said no and jumped over it? So time is coming up very soon. So our friend the troll is right here. So he has a soul jar that we would really want. And the way you get it, I'm sure you can see where this is going. Time. So we hit him in the old Newton's cradle, and that's the goal of the category, y'all. If you needed any other motivation to learn this run, I don't know what to tell you. But that was troll tag.
The perfect ending.
Incredible. So yeah, apologies for the kerfuffle in the first section. I really wanted to go for the swag cycle in the first sundial level. But hey, I'm underestimated technically, so give me. Yeah, thank you, Quack, so much for having me. This is a really cool run, and like if you're looking for, honestly, if you have either of PS2, GameCube/Wii, or Xbox, and you want to learn a platformer run, this is a great place to start. Like I said, we time by load remove time, meaning that it doesn't matter if you have the correct hard drive or version of PS2, Xbox game, whatever. You can play and compete and compare your times with everyone else, which is really, really cool. Especially because this game's loading times are pretty bad. But yeah, Quack, how do you feel about tagging the troll now?
I've scarcely loved a speedrun more. But also, where are you at on the internet? Where can the people find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Jaxler1. I tend to speedrun, like Quack said, kind of like the hidden gems and like the things that are off the beaten path. And this is what I love doing, is showing people games that they might not have heard of before. So, hopefully you'll at least check out the game as well. I want to give a quick shout out to another runner, Belleferon. Most of this route and several of the strats I kind of mirrored from his run. His world record of troll tag is really sick. You should check it out. And I guess also send me your spirit bombs. The any percent version of this run actually made it in on backup for SGDQ. So send your spirit bomb or pray to whatever you believe in to see if maybe that escapes off the backup list. But thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always good talking to you, Quack. It's a good excuse.
Yeah, you too, Jaxler. Friends, we have just one more run in Make Your Own Victory tonight, so we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, perhaps the most iconic monster game of the modern era, it's Undertale after the break. I will see you there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Make Your Own Victory, the GDQ Hotfix show that attempts to capture 100% of the joys of speedrunning in 0% of the completed video games. If this is not your first rodeo here at Make Your Own Victory, you will know that in my heart, I have but one favorite monster. And it's this little monster right here. But if I have two favorite monsters, after my son would be the noble duck. It's in the name, even. And so I am over the moon to welcome to the stage, running the one and only duck % category in Undertale, Jack.
Hello, yes, that's right. I'm running Duck % legendary category. Thank you. And I am joined by Willie.
Hi, everyone. When we were approached with this opportunity, I just want to say, for the uninitiated, Jack's profile picture is the everyman duck from Deltarune, so it was perfect. It was a perfect
Could
opportunity.
not pass it up. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started here. File name Duck, of course. It actually,
Of course.
it does matter a little bit, the length of your file name, but we're here to have fun. All right, so time is just gonna start when I hit yes here in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Or good duck.
Thank you.
So Duck Percent is a meme from before my day, before Jack's day. I don't even know where it came from, but it's a category extension. It's on the Undertale leaderboards. You just talk to the duck.
It needs some explanation, really. It is
To explain it as best as you can, you people who know Undertale know that cutscene is a very long one. It takes a long time for that duck to fly over the gap. So if you talk to the duck, your run's over.
Yeah, if you say
I'm
yes.
guessing that's where it came from, but
But like, there was no reason to talk to the duck
any
until
historians could tell us.
seriously. But yeah, I'm actually gonna go for a pretty hard strat here right at the beginning, so I'm gonna save just in case, because you can actually self-log. But
Undertale's had a bit of a revolution lately with some new early game tech that has come into play, and while in the past just an early game showcase of the game wouldn't have been as interesting, you get to see stuff like this.
okay, I can try again. I missed it in the good way. Nice.
And just skip that room.
Wow.
Wrong warps. Wrong warps. There are weird ways you enter room transitions sometimes, which cause the game to not remember where to put you, and it just puts you in the default position. That's what happened there. And Jack got that on the first try.
Yup. There was no second try involved. But yeah, we get a lot of RNG in ruins. So you can either get, or there's a lot of rooms where you can either get an encounter or not get an encounter. And it turns out
7 in total.
It's better to not get an encounter.
In a speedrun, really?
Really?
No way. Jack talked to that sign there. It actually skips a phone call later. It's really funny because it looks like it's an accident every time.
Yeah, the game just checks to see that you cleared text, so you just clear the sign text and tutorial doesn't call you again. Real nice.
Your movement in that maze makes me so proud.
I'm glad.
Yeah, that room
creature.
is mandatory to have an encounter in. So there's 2 rooms so far, and we've got an encounter in one of them.
This is an absolute fight. There is a bit of RNG there with the first attack. You can lose 1 second if you get the bad one, which I did, but it's okay.
I'm sure your duck percent runs are very, very reset heavy, I have to imagine.
No, in PB attempts, it would already be over.
If you were running this category grinding it seriously, the RNG grind would suck.
Yeah, so we kind of touched on this, but this category is essentially entirely the early game, like the first half of the 90% of Undertale. It just happens that the duck is at the halfway point of our run. And yeah, like Willie said, like because of recent developments, there's a lot of new stuff in the early game of this game, so it's kind of a perfect time to show it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, we get the punch card. We get to play with the punch card for a little bit, but a normal one would play with it for a lot longer. That being said, you'll get to see some cool stuff here.
We're done with the encounters and ruins. With the
RNG 2 encounters, that's average.
Yeah, 2 encounters is average.
So you want to talk about tutorial hands?
Okay, yeah, so the way the tutorial, let me know. The way the tutorial fight works is it ends after a certain amount of turns. It's just a set amount of turns, like after 13 or something turns. I don't know the number.
I can't count.
Yeah, basically you want, there's nothing you can do to speed up the fight on your end. You kind of just spare until she spares you. But she does do certain attacks that are faster because you can run into the attack and it'll just instantly end. And those are the hand attacks. So
there are 5 different attacks in Toriel's attack pool in this segment, and 2 of them, if you collide them, they skip the turn.
Which is very nice.
If Jack can get at me.
And so, of course, we're going to see 0
Has
now.
it been that attack 4 times in a row?
Yeah.
There it is.
There's one. Okay.
This attack has a little hitbox here. You can hit for 1, which is actually a good thing because when you're at 7 HP or lower in this fight, attacks only deal 1 damage instead of 4. You can see right now I did 7 to 6. And so it just gives you more hits where you could get hit. Jack's intentionally taking damage here because when you're at 3 HP, any attack that you hit will take you to 2. It does that because Toriel doesn't want to kill you.
So I gotta... Oh, that one doesn't count because any attack would have canceled at the end. But that was essentially a 2.
That one always counts. The way...
It depends on how you...
Can we all agree on a way to count this?
No. So that's pretty bad. I believe average is about 5 hands, 4 or 5.
Average is 5, yeah.
But it's okay. I got to hear a part of that song that I'd never heard before. Okay, we can't mash away all the text, like the super fast CX enter shift matching that you saw me doing for most of the text boxes so far. Some of them are unskippable, so you just have to watch it play out. Like the tutorial ones.
Yeah, usually it's like text in battle. Some text that they arbitrarily decided is too important to skip.
Exactly.
So yeah, you got 2 hands, which is like a normal amount of hands for a person.
True. Toriel gave me all that she had, all 2 hands. All right, so now we're in Snowdon, which I think is one of the hardest splits in the run now. It's pretty mashing heavy, but it's also very trick heavy. We have a new strat called Slopeless Slope Slop. I can't even remember the full name. But basically, we can skip more cutscenes now, or get text storage after cutscenes and run warp with it. It'll make more sense once I get to a spot where I'll do it, but
it'll make more sense. It also won't make.
It also won't make any sense. That's okay.
That's sort of been the sub theme of this episode, to be perfectly honest.
Perfect.
I'm glad we're fitting in.
Yeah. It's the Monster Mash, but it's also tech that you kind of need an advanced degree to understand.
Yeah, very. I think there are very
People who understand Undertale,
Yeah.
people who understand Undertale at a deep level, I don't understand them.
Yeah.
They are a great part of our community, and I don't know how they do what they do.
There is so much to learn about this game. Sans. So yeah, now we meet Sans and Papyrus, who are the reason we mash so much in this split, because they yap so much.
They have so much. Historically, this the Snowden area, it has just been mashing simulator. That being said, we get some cool stuff now.
So I'm gonna heal there because Toriel did leave us at 1 HP. And I got the Tough Glove. We're not actually gonna really use the Tough Glove for anything in this run, but we're gonna use the stick. And the stick is the weapon you have on by default when you load a new game. But to get it in your inventory, you need to equip something else. So that's why you get the Tough Glove.
You technically don't need to heal there. Because we're not beating the game.
That's true. But I don't want to die to one of the dogs.
You wouldn't.
Yeah. I am a speedrunner. Anyway, yeah, so those are the first dogs. All the dogs we can spare just by throwing the stick, and they instantly become happy.
There's other ways to spare them, but that's the fastest way, so we put the weapon on that we are never going to use.
And here is the new strat that we keep talking about.
I'm gonna let it speak for itself for a second.
Bang.
Oh.
Yeah, so we can skip some things. To explain this in a way that I can try to explain this, we're basically just abusing the way a wall collision works. If you do it in a very specific way, you can line yourself up on the pixel of the trigger while you're moving inside and outside of the wall every single frame. The collision check for the trigger happens while you're inside the wall, so it doesn't trigger, and then you go outside the wall where you would be in it, but then there's no check, and then you go back in the wall, back out, and then when you open your menu, open the to call Toriel, you get text storage.
And there will be a test.
There will be a
Okay,
test.
I went to theater school, y'all. I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
Yeah, very complicated tech. We didn't really know
It's
what
hard.
worked when we found it. It was kind of just throwing stuff at the wall, and it worked. But yeah, it's
The reason it's called Slopeless Slope Slot, the first version of it, any guesses? Slope Slop.
Yeah.
We used to have to use a slope to kind of... There was one spot where we knew you could do it, where you used a slope to kind of push you onto that pixel. Then we found a way to get on that pixel without a slope. Hence the Slopeless. Here's another one of those.
Yeah, this is an example of text storage where we don't actually skip this cutscene, but we can get text on screen, which we can run work with, so that skips a lot of that room.
And here is a very simple puzzle.
That we're gonna make it very complicated. So that's a version of that ice puzzle that is... it requires a lot of pixel-perfect setups, and it's really hard, and I usually don't go for it in runs, but I managed to hit it this time, which is cool.
There are about, 4 different versions of that trick that people do in runs. All sorts of different ways through that puzzle, from a kind of glitchless but fast way to a very hard way.
Exactly.
And you've got the fast attack there.
We got one more SLS in Snowden. I hope I can hit it. These are all what we call overflow inputs, where you have to hit Z on one frame and then enter on the next consecutive frame, or other way around. It's okay.
Oh,
This one.
close though.
This one only saves, I think this one actually saves like 10 seconds, or it feels like that at least. But it's mostly
It's because you do
can-
camera nip, right?
you can get text corruption on the cutscene, which is just,
Oh,
which is another very complicated thing, but we didn't get to see it, so it probably wouldn't make sense if we tried to explain it. But you can also wrong warp out. Here, which saves a bit of time. Oh, I didn't mean that. Hi.
Hi. I guess we're seeing an extra
bonus
monster
tech.
this.
Bonus
we're
monster.
seeing an extra monster this
Yeah.
run. It's part of the plan.
So now we're gonna fight Papyrus, and by fight Papyrus, I mean die to Papyrus 3 times so that we can skip the fight. Unfortunately, this is the fastest way to get past this section. It's pretty boring, but the fight is just so long.
The fight is so long,
Especially
which
a
makes
level.
me so sad.
Yeah,
Because it's a really cool fight.
it is really cool, and there's not a ton of categories that actually get to do it.
But yeah, it is like... I feel like every single time I ask somebody to figure out how long this saves by dying to Papyrus, we get a different answer every time. It's at least a minute.
It's quite
It's at
long.
least a minute faster.
So much so that even when you're at like level 5 from killing Toriel, for example, and you're doing more damage, so the fight takes less turns, and you have more health, so it takes longer to die each time, but it's still faster to die each time by a lot. So
In a vacuum, killing Toriel would actually be faster to get the love from that. Or, sorry, just because it's a faster cutscene there. But then you get the love, which means you have more HP, which means you have to take more hits, so then it's slower.
the love would also be
This game's
useful
weird.
for score. I've never thought about before, but it's true.
Well, level 5 doesn't save a turn.
You could kill other things.
We're live rerouting Undertale.
Live
You thought this was just a
Oh,
duck
yeah.
percent speedrun. We're actually revolutionizing the entire
Someone write
leaderboard.
that
That would be
down.
really funny if that was how that worked.
Imagine. Yeah, this is like...
Look,
This is what I think
I would
about.
be happy with it.
Yeah. Alright, this is our last Papyrus fight, I think. Before we get to leave.
I don't know how to count.
I was about to say, we only have to count to 3.
It can't be that hard, right? No.
So here's the thing. Every single Undertale runner doesn't count this. They look at their live split when they're coming out of the room, and if it says 3 minutes for the segment, they're on the right time.
Exactly. So they don't even count. But also, every Undertale runner has lost a run to miscounting.
Every single Undertale has lost a run to either miscounting or mismenuing.
It's like one of many
Luckily-
very silly mistakes you can make that everyone has made.
Luckily, there's choicer delay. Undertale blesses us with this thing called choicer delay, where on most choicers, it like kind of locks up your inputs for a few frames. Oh, there's a slope slot.
Yes. So yeah, that's
So
the
yeah,
one-
it's like just moving around. Frisk is fake frisk.
Anyway, I miscounted. No, I was focused on. It's okay. So we're gonna see Papyrus for about an extra minute here, but I gave myself a pretty generous estimate, so it shouldn't be a problem.
So remember when we said every single Undertale runner has messed up?
I'm gonna do slope slop again, okay?
Jack's gonna get the
It's just-
revolutionary 5 for
I
5
just wanted to
slope
show
slot.
it off. 5 for 5, yeah. Alright, everyone lock in. I have to say no to Papyrus's fight. I got this.
I believe.
And I got slopeless slope, or I got slopeful slope slop again.
I love how Frisk is fake frisk.
Yes! Hardest trick.
There you
We
go.
did it. First try every 4th try. We'll work on it later.
I see no issues with that being first try.
It's first try twice in a row. Or the...
True.
That's the way to think about it, yeah.
And now it's wonderful time.
Yeah. One more SLS in the entire run, because we're just gonna get an item that lets us skip everything anyway. But it's
Yeah,
coming.
you probably could do SLS in a lot more spaces
Toby also
if you
like.
didn't have punch card.
Oh, I got it. Bang.
Bang.
They also changed the way like cutscenes work about the time in the game you get the punch card, which is the thing that lets us skip cutscenes because of the way cutscenes work. It's kind of a miracle, but like a lot of stuff in this game works because of that like odd decision to change how the game is programmed at a certain point.
Look, everyone knows, and by everyone I mean some people know, that Toby Fox.
You were saying
That Toby Fox is a. Everyone knows that Toby Fox. He's Jack. Did you?
I'm sorry.
Did you lock in?
You actually have to. It's like Papyrus. You actually have to do that 3 times. Or else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the stick. I don't want to.
Everyone knows that Toby Fox is a storyteller more than he's a programmer.
Yes.
He likely discovered that the other way to do it is better. And so then he started doing that in Waterfall, but didn't retrofit the rest of the game to it, which makes sense. It's good.
This game is programmed a lot. Like Undertale's joked about a lot as like, you know, anyone can program. Look at Undertale, but as a speedrunners, I think we all really appreciate how terribly programmed this game is.
We appreciate it because it gives us our community wouldn't be where it is if this game wasn't
It's
held
true.
together by hopes and dreams.
This is Spears 1. This is RNG that you can adapt to. And right after this, we're gonna get the punch card, which for the rest of the run, which isn't super long at this point, you probably have about 8 minutes or so.
Probably 6 or 7 minutes.
6 or 7 minutes.
Subtle.
Things are gonna speed up a little bit.
But you know what time it is coming up?
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready
Who's ready? For Gaster.
for Gaster.
He's gotta show up. He's gotta show up.
There's a 1 in 100 chance that you get a hallway here, and it's actually the worst fun event you can get out of all of them because it's the slowest. But okay, we did.
Well, it was 1 in 89 because you didn't get the phone call, but yeah.
True, that's a good point.
Time to get the punch card. The punch card lets us skip things. It lets us wrong warp. It lets us break the game. Thanks, Toby Fox, for making this joke item.
It's awesome. Yeah, because it's an item. Most items like just display text on screen. I didn't get to do the first wrong warp, which is usually makes it very clear what we're talking about. But normally items
And then
display
there's just
normal
a
text on
30-second
screen.
roll.
Yeah. But because this item is special, it shows like an image on screen, and just because of the way that was programmed, it gives you a frame of movement in between the image showing and you using the item. So if you do things in that frame, you can make funny things.
Like starting a rune transition.
Yes, like that.
Or starting a cutscene.
Starting the cutscene? Hello?
Starting a cutscene?
Okay. I
Did
just
you
like...
triple buffer onto that?
So speaking of not being able to count, I count steps for this trigger and I miscounted. I need counting lessons after this.
You counted perfectly fine during the audio check.
That's true.
Wow.
I went all the way to like 22.
It was honestly impressive. Here's a monster. Kid?
Monster Kid. Actually, their name. So yeah, a lot of
And
these
how Jack do a
strats...
strat called this?
Oh yeah, this strat is called this. I got this. And that. I don't think... I don't remember what that... Oh, I think that is down here. Is this that? I don't know. Someone
Who's on
knows.
first, though? Jack's moving really
Jack's
fast
still
right
speedrunning the 5 stages of grief over the hallway.
So yeah, some wrong ones we have...
now. Ohio?
Hello? Is there literally 0 Q4 like that one? Like Chris is just completely behind a wall, so we use certain other cues like saying the word Ohio to be able to time the wrong word, but I didn't get it, unfortunately.
Okay, Spheres 2, which also has the worst strat in the game in it.
It's not the
This
worst
is the
strat in the
52
game.
bridge.
52 bridge. I didn't get the worst strat.
Jack missed it. Jack missed Willy Warp.
But yeah, you saw me do it earlier, a similar thing. It might have... we kind of glossed over it, but you can also info the punch card, which is also very useful, because sometimes you just want to get text on screen, because usually when cutscenes end, they give you your movement back, obviously. So if you had movement during a cutscene and then got text up, then it would give you your movement back while the text is still up, and you get text storage, which you can run work with or do whatever you so please. Skip another cutscene.
The thing is, during the Undertale chase sequences, you don't have your menu. Undyne takes it away from you. So you can't run work using traditional punch card from first. You have to find a different way.
So this is why being named something that's not one character loses time. It's because of this cutscene. In this category, this is the only cutscene that it matters for. So Azrael, I mean,
Get ready for it.
strange voice is gonna say our name. Duck? Huh? That's a nice name. I agree.
That was the
It
whole
is a
time
nice
lost.
name.
It's a very nice.
Those three characters. It is a nice name. All right, now Jack's gonna try to do something. He's gonna try to do two things here. We got Mad Dummy Skip. We also have. Are you doing
I'll
EBP?
go for EBP.
Okay. And this strat actually involves talking to the duck. It is optimal on any percent to talk to the duck.
You'll see what in a second, hopefully.
I'm gonna give Jack some quiet to go for this.
I just forgot. My bad.
You totally forgot, and I don't
okay.
think you hit that.
No, I did, for sure. But
Okay, I'll trust you.
thanks.
So yeah, there's what Jack's trying to do here is called persistence glitch. I don't have enough time to explain it. The short answer is basically you leave the room the same frame a cutscene starts, the game gets stuck in a persistent state. Oh, you did get it. Okay.
I say. Time is coming.
And now
by the way,
we just
sorry.
skipped Mad Dummy.
Yeah, we skipped the Mad Dummy. And time's coming up. I'm just gonna, when I just talk to the duck, which is in the room to the left, it will be time. So
In 3, 2, 1, time.
GG.
now the duck can carry us over the disproportionately small gap.
It's one of the cutscenes of all time.
I always got scared that bro was gonna drop me right there.
Yeah, that feels Toby Fox. Thank you both so much. I mean, obviously, Duck Percent is near and dear to my heart just on vibes alone, and thank you so much for showing off all of the brokenness of Undertale alongside it. Where can the people find you, and what are you up to on the internet?
You can find me at twitch.tv/JQQQ3. That's Jack with 3 Qs. And I stream, I play Undertale and Deltarune. I'm a top runner in both games. I stream it pretty often. So if you want to check it out, that'd be cool. What about you, Willy, buddy?
Okay, I will just, before I talk about me, because you're just gonna gloss over the fact, Jack got a PB in any percent this morning.
Oh,
Yo.
that's true.
Jack
Practicing
was
for
I'm
this
gonna
run.
practice a little bit for this run, and gets a PB in Undertale, in neutral. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire too.
Yes, I love that for you.
That's where I've been. But yeah, I hang around sometimes. You can find me around in the Undertale speedrunning community, which is a great community if you're looking for your first speed game. It was my first speed game. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, huge shout out to the Undertale community.
Incredible. Thank you both so much. Friends, I think we have sufficiently monster mashed our little hearts out. So that is going to be it from from us here at Make Your Own Victory. If you stick around after the break, we will be going right into a community grab bag showcase featuring runs that viewers like you have submitted